Baby, let me take you for a ride. It's crazy that we on the same vibe. I really wanna try to stay on the same side. So can you stay tonight just so we do it right? Yeah.
Really?
Well, a lot of states are passing these like ID verification. Yeah, a lot of these states are passing ID verification things, and people don't want to
Google some OnlyFans.
I was gonna say, what's that one guy in Joe Rogan's show where he says like, what's his name? The guy that does all the research stuff, like he has like
Jamie.
Yeah, he's like, Jamie, pull it up.
Yeah. Well, we're like a split Jamie because I'm over here like kind of doing this, you know, and so.
But it's cool that you guys have a very sophisticated setup. It's really clean.
Yeah,
It's
I appreciate
really clean. Yeah, it's really clean.
Definitely
drastically plummeted.
We definitely try.
Or is this like people bitching about not making money on?
That's probably
OnlyFans?
more people just like bitching that they're not making money anymore.
It's the rise and fall of adult content. One
Yeah.
month ago, because I know OnlyFans was like floating the idea of we're going to ban adult content.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what. That's what it was.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Obviously, that.
Have you seen the CEO or the founder of OnlyFans? What he looks like?
No.
Look him up. Look him up.
I
Look
can
him up.
only imagine, dude.
Does he look like the founder of OnlyFans?
I guess there's two ways you could look. Oh wait, no, that's not who I'm thinking of.
That actually kind of checks out.
Founder. Oh, there you have a picture of him. Look
Tim
at
Stokely.
Yeah, look at the image of him. Hold on. That's him right there. I'm pretty sure that's him.
Yeah, that also checks out.
Hey, look at that picture in the red shorts. Or the one on the right.
Yeah.
He looks like he could be in love, like one of those Netflix like dating shows.
Yeah.
Perfect Match or like Love Is Blind or whatever.
Yeah, 90 Day Fiance.
Yeah, one of them ones.
Oh my god, was that on Netflix? But it's or like Hulu or something. But Love on the Spectrum. Have you seen that?
I heard about it. I seen a couple clips. Yeah, that's something.
I just saw a clip where, you know, it's for like autistic Down syndrome, you know,
Right.
Yeah, that kind of stuff, and you know they're doing speed dating, and you know he asked the girl, I don't even remember what he asked her.
Yeah.
But she gave him an answer he didn't like, and right in front of her was just like, okay, no.
Yeah.
Oh
checklist.
yeah. And then like afterward they're like, hey, are you like writing down things in front of the people? And they're like, he's like, yeah. He's like, maybe you don't wait. just wait until they leave to say something like bad about them. And then he's like, oh, I don't understand why. But okay, all right.
Yeah. Look at this guy though, man. Imagine looking like him, being the founder of Only. I mean, look at it. Tell me.
Yeah.
Look at that, man. He looks like he could be a Calvin Klein like underwear model on the side.
The basis for that Giga Chad.
Yeah.
Like they took him and photoshopped him into the Giga Chad.
You know he's swimming in money.
Oh,
he's swimming in money, dude.
Yeah.
But, you know, the challenge with these guys is, you know, you start looking at the other aspects of their life. You know, he probably has a hard time dating because he has, like, so many options probably. It probably makes it harder for him to settle down.
And so, like, but people probably say the same thing about, like, Dan Bilzerian. And I think he's doing just fine, huh?
Well, I think the difference between Dan Bilzerian and this guy is Dan Bilzerian paid those women to be around him.
That's true.
I think these girls... You know,
they
want to be around.
He's almost paying them. He's paying a lot of OnlyFans.
Oh, so that chick that came up when I Googled OnlyFans founder, she took his place. He stepped down after the whole banning explicit content.
Oh, so he's
no longer the
he bought in low. He sold at the peak, huh?
Yeah.
Oh man.
He's the founder, but he's no longer the CEO.
That's cool. Yeah. How old is he? I wonder how old he is.
1983, so 30,
40.
40.
Yeah.
He's 40. He looks
41.
like that.
He's 41.
Holy crap.
Yeah, some
Hey,
people.
he's British? Oh my jeez.
A British businessman.
He has
the king of homemade porn.
Yeah. That's crazy, dude. Look up his net worth. I'm sorry. I'm really. I love this feature.
No,
here.
I love this too. Yeah, this is the
120 million. It says on the second link.
Yeah.
He has a $3.4 million house. Okay.
Of course. But 120 million at man.
Yeah, he looks like we were talking about what he would look like, but who's that? I can't believe I'm forgetting his name, but like the like ultra mega like stereotypical like he's the guy.
Chad?
No, he's the
that's the meme.
Yeah.
No, like the oh my god, I can't believe I'm forgetting his name.
Is he real?
Yeah. He's he got like his brother got locked up. He has a twin
Andrew
brother.
Tate?
Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate. Oh.
Yeah, dude. He's like a Tate brother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, this guy got Andrew Tate beat in looks.
Yeah, I think so. But I mean, I
sure.
feel like he's like one of the guys on his.
Hey man, you know, and I'm straight. I like the ladies, but you know, when a person's good looking, a person's
Yeah,
good
you gotta.
looking, you know.
That's a sexy
real,
man.
real,
Yeah, that's a
real
good-looking
recognize
dude.
real.
That's a good looking dude. You know,
Yeah.
I feel a little iffy bringing my girl around him.
Yeah. We don't get to hang out with this.
It might be the last time I
We don't
see
get
her.
to hang out with that guy. Tim Stokely. Interesting.
Well, you want to, I guess, officially roll into this?
Yeah, we can officially roll in. So today we have Emilio Pastor, the founder and owner of the EP podcast.
I'm also the CEO, the editor, the marketing.
Yeah,
Creative director.
yeah, creative director.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you guys for having me on, man.
Yeah.
This is so cool.
Yeah.
I'm really happy to be here. Like I was telling you guys, the drive here is really cool.
Yeah.
It felt like I was going through like a Windows background. So neat. When we were such in a crowded area and then you see a lot of green, it's all like, you know.
Yeah.
It's a breath of fresh air.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
No, but I'm super excited.
Yeah, we're excited to have you, man, and I appreciate you being able to do this.
Absolutely.
So,
No, I'm
yeah.
extremely, happy to. You
Yeah.
know, the team
Yeah.
has to work together. Oh, sorry, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
business.
actually not. But this is business. you know.
Yeah.
No, but thank you. I'm to the viewers. Hi. You know,
Yeah.
super excited to be here. Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, so and so we met each other just from having podcasts.
Yeah.
Just like stumbling upon each other's podcasts. We talked about a lot of the similar things, like just similar topics, that
Yeah.
Adrian and I've gotten into. We like also kind of shared, and there was a lot of things that like you were just posting on your story. You post a lot of like interesting things that like you just
Thank
find
you.
interesting on your story, which like I also like. And then I think it's also a cool idea because it's almost like a precursor to like what's going to be on your next podcast. Like you just kind of like post these headlines, and I'm like, oh man.
Yeah.
And I remember the one that I was most excited for was the Putin interview with Tucker Carlson. And I remember like when that was happening that you had posted that, and I was like, man, I couldn't wait
Yeah.
to see it. And,
Yeah.
just to kind of like get takes and, so just interesting stuff, man. And,
Yeah.
and so obviously small world, you're from Delaware,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So always been from Delaware?
No, I was born in Ecuador. I was
Okay.
born in Ecuador. Came to the country when I was 8 years old.
Yeah.
And, been here since. I first, when I flew in, I think it was from LaGuardia over in Queens, and lived in Delaware for a year at my uncle's house. Then I moved to New York for some time, lived in both Queens and Manhattan. And then after my time there, I moved back to Delaware and been here since. I always told myself, the moment I get a chance, I'm going to go back to New York. Then I got older. I was like, especially in the state that it's in now. hell no,
Yeah.
I'm not going back.
Yeah.
No, but my mom still lives there, so I try to see her from time to time. I go visit her, but it's not in the best state that it's been in a while. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a lot of the country at this point.
Yeah. Well, like we were saying earlier, like when things start going downhill is in terms of like the health of an area. It typically hits the cities first,
Mm-hmm.
and then it bleeds over
You
into
just grab
everything
that
else.
mic too.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Nah, you're cool. They move around. Dude, it's the
Oh, dude, this
honestly,
is-
it's not you. It's these
Yeah.
chairs. So it was the first thing. Like, I picked out the chairs, not to like railroad your entire conversation.
No, you're fine, you're
at
fine.
The very beginning of our podcast, but I should have explained this off the pod. We
They're
sat
fine,
down here
yeah.
forever, but I picked out the chairs, and I thought that was like, I mean, what was more comfortable than like this, like
Yeah.
rocking?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
almost like a bucket seat in
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
car.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
has like that feel, you
Yeah,
sit
yeah.
back.
And it pulls you away from the
And
mic.
Adrian,
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
so excited for it. And Adrian's like sat down in it. He's like, "This is gonna be really bad for a podcast." And I was like, "Damn, what do you mean?" He goes, "Well, watch." And we just sat there, and he was just like, "That's what's gonna happen." I was like,
it's a very comfortable chair. I'll
"Fuck,
say
it's
that.
so comfy."
Yeah.
And like you want to sit back. And
Yeah,
then,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
The hardest part is
Yeah.
just remember to just kind of and that's why these are nice. Like they'll move
Yeah.
with you.
These
they'll
are
move with
official,
you.
dude. You
Yeah,
guys have
so,
great gear.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
The problem with mine is that my couches are fairly like new, probably no more than a year old.
Uh-huh.
But the seat, the corner one, where I have the guests sit, that thing sinks down.
Yeah.
Right, so it looks
Yeah.
like they're almost like in a weird, like their knees are all up, they're like sunk in, and like when I'm editing that, I need to be conscious of like having like from the waist up, because if not, it's boom, crotch roll in your face. You know, it's just you work around it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, definitely. So, but before I interrupted you, you were talking about Delaware.
Yeah, New York. Yeah. So I'm never going back to New York. I don't know why people live there. In general, I mean, I get. Look, New York is great if you're rich.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I guess
absolutely.
in that case, anywhere is great if you're rich.
Yeah.
But the other thing is if you're building your career.
Right.
If you're building your career, New York is great. You know, the hustle and bustle there. You know, it's very energetic. But you know, aside of that, I don't find peace in cities.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just because like we work blue collar kind of stuff where we can kind of pick that up anywhere. But I don't see the appeal of living in a city. Like I'll use where I live as an example out in like Westchester. People's biggest draw to the city is like, oh, there's so much to do. There's the culture. There's this. There's that. Blah blah blah. Yeah, but it still takes you 20 minutes to get there because you have to walk.
Yeah.
Or take 20 minutes to go 2 blocks via bus, car, whatever.
Yeah.
It takes me 20 minutes to get to any number of bars, restaurants, or anything. The only thing, like, the city has like sports stadiums or like maybe clubs, but
But to your point, like no one like lives next to the stadium. Like no one gets to like,
and it still takes you like 45 minutes to get there from
Yeah.
the city, and it takes me 45 minutes to get there from Westchester.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's why some people don't even end up getting a car when they live in the city, because it's like, you know, there's so many means of transportation. And like I have this one friend of mine, he's in his late 50s, but he lived in Philadelphia for a good amount of his life, but then moved to Delaware, North Wilmington, and he didn't get his driver's license until he was like in his 50s, because he never needed transportation or anything like that.
I mean, well, you've been to New York
Yeah.
City. I've visited once, did all the tourist things. That's good. I don't need to go back. It was
yeah,
great.
Yeah.
New York is a living GTA lobby.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
But, like,
everybody's an NPC, dude.
I remember when I was there, like I would see a car, and it would go, and then be at a red light, and I'd just walk right past it. Then it'd go, and I'd walk right past it again. I'm like, you're getting nowhere faster than me.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
That's like people when they drive, like super fast. Like, I don't know, I'm like an old person when I drive, right?
Yeah.
I drive an old person car for a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's they like drive super fast, like ahead of you, just to end up at the same light with you.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
me and Keith are not that.
Okay.
Yeah. Allegedly.
I'll see you guys at the light.
Allegedly.
then.
We get right up to that speed limit as fast as possible, and definitely never exceed it. But we do a lot of turnpike driving where that does add up. In fact, perfect story. So me and him were at a job site an hour up.
Allegedly.
No,
Allegedly.
No. We're at a job site an hour away up the turnpike, and we get there, and my van dies. Long story short, my work van just decides to start shutting off. We started back up, it would run for a couple minutes and just shut right off. So I'm like, well, I'm not driving this an hour down the turnpike to get home. So, called the person at our company that handles like the vehicle maintenance and all that, and she called the shop that we use, and they sent a tow truck. And he ended up getting there about half an hour before we normally leave anyway. And he has to load the truck up, and I want to say he got out of that job site about 15 minutes or so before us. We caught up to him as we came back, got back to the office.
Oh snap! See, I've been in so many car
Well, it's a
car
tow
accidents.
truck. He was going slow.
I've been in so many car accidents. I just get anxious. It's
Yeah.
like all self-inflicted. By the way, it's all me just being stupid. And every time I've been sober, which is the worst part about it.
Or maybe the best part.
Well, it's for sure. But it's just like, especially like back roads.
Yeah.
It's I get anxious. There's so many like all of a sudden turns and stuff like that.
Especially when you don't know the road.
Yeah. I got into an accident there, one of them once, over in Greenville, in Delaware, back where like AI high school, those back roads.
Yeah.
And I think we were gonna go see a movie. We were gonna go see, what's that one movie where John Cena is like the the stepfather or something like that, whatever the case is. You know what I'm talking about? It's like, isn't it like Dad or something like that? I don't know what the hell the movie is, but we were gonna go see that movie, and then I had this Chrysler Sebring with a drop top. Right, back in high school.
God.
Bro, that's the car that Michael Scott drives. That gets his company car
at the office car. Yeah. And you know, it was raining, right?
Yeah.
Daddy's home.
Daddy's home. Yep, Daddy's home. Yeah, Daddy's home.
Yeah, Daddy's home.
What year is that? 2015 is that?
Yep.
Yeah, 2015. And it was raining, and the tires just spun out on me.
Oh yeah.
And then I think I got knocked out for like a second or two. I don't remember. It's like you blink, and all of a sudden, boom. You know, this
Why
is
am I on
happening.
the side of the road?
Yeah. And my head immediately went to, this is gonna be an expensive fix, because you know I was broke as hell.
Yeah.
You know, you're so money conscious, well, you're insecure
Right.
about those things.
Yeah.
And then, you know, my car, you know, we hit like this little like Passover bridge or whatever this is called, and the car starts smoking up.
Oh no.
Right, the car starts smoking up, and I had to, like, you know, push my door open because it wouldn't let me out.
Yeah.
And I was with my girlfriend at the time, and I had to get her out of the car because the what's it called, the door was also like awful there. And then we leave the car, like the area of the car, because it started getting on fire, right? And my head went to, I'm like, where's your stuff? You know, it's like, do you have your stuff? And she's like, oh no, it's in the car. I'm like, fuck, that's like their phone and everything there. That's gonna be even more expensive. So here I am, like half of like the left side of my body, it's like numb, right?
Oh
and
my
I'm like
gosh,
rushing
dude.
into the car. Let me get her shit because I'm not trying to pay for that too.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
dude, and that was the first time I met her parents too.
Oh my god.
That was the first time I met her parents.
Whoa.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude.
So
But-
good first impression.
Crazy.
right?
Yeah.
Dude, I could not think of a worse way of meeting someone's parents.
Yeah.
But you know, it was I want to say a lesson learned, but I got into a
Yeah.
few car accidents after that. So it's like, you know,
Maybe
then I learned
not.
my lesson.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, nah, man. I think everything happens for a reason,
Yeah.
man. I think that like when those like weird things happen,
Yeah.
you know, just
Yeah.
like everything happens.
Got
for
you
a
out of a
reason.
Sebring.
well, it was bad because like after that, we went to Christiana Hospital. And, you know, just to make sure everyone's good, I'm in my head, I'm thinking, like, bro, like, this is going to be expensive as fuck. I'm not trying to
Yeah.
spend on this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I make sure that, you know, we're her parents and everything. When they're in the emergency room, I make sure that she gets in and everything checks out. And after that, I call my boy. I'm like, yo, like, this just happened. I need to get out of here. I'm not trying to pay any of these bills. Right? So, not that I owe the hospital or anything, but my boy picks me up. And I'm like at his house for like a few days recovering after that. Insanely sore because I didn't want to tell my dad.
Yeah.
You know. But, you know, when my dad, you know, doesn't see me for days in high school, then I'm like,
Yeah.
you know, something's going on.
Right.
But yeah, I was like in bed for like a week. Like my body wasn't able to have it. No.
Yeah.
No. Have you guys been in car accidents?
Yep.
Yeah. Plenty.
Like
Yeah.
at fault or allegedly?
I mean,
Yeah, I've had my fair share.
I've
Yeah.
been in one accident that was my fault, and two or
Okay.
three that weren't.
As I see a finger going
But-
up every
Yeah,
time. I'm like, hold on.
Holy
No,
shit.
I've owned like
Yeah.
14 cars, so
Okay.
Yeah.
kind of gets
Yeah.
Crashed them all.
Like
No.
cars.
no, no. But the worst one, I got T-boned at like 55 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And I got this scar right here on my
Uh-huh,
nose and a slight scar right there, and that was it.
Oh, man.
Because I was driving a Volvo 240, and I don't know if you know what those are, but they're tanks.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
No, that's scary, man. That's
Yeah,
scary.
That was actually 7 and 273.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know that road.
No, I don't. I'm terrible with roads. I grew up in New
You know
York.
where
All
the
I know is
Christiana
street and
Mall
that.
is?
Yeah.
Okay, it's
Just off the highway.
just off the
Oh,
highway.
really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was
Oof.
making a
Yeah.
left. You know,
That's
my light
scary.
went green. I went and there were two left turn lanes. So there was a car next to me, so I couldn't see someone was just coming.
Mhm.
But I just took off and poof.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oof. That's scary.
But I
man.
do remember, looking over, seeing headlights going, those are close.
Yeah.
They're still moving.
Yeah.
And then I don't think I lost consciousness, but I don't remember the sound it made. But I do remember feeling the impact.
Okay.
and then car actually got spun like more than 90 degrees. Like I was actually facing back the way it was coming, and car kind of rolled through the intersection, hit the brakes, and the pedal just goes right to the floor. And I'm like, "Where's the parking brake?"
Yeah, yeah.
But the worst part was when I got out of the car and looked over. The car that hit me had turned 90 degrees and was actually, it was like they just made a left. And they were rolling down the road that way. And I thought they were running.
Yeah.
So I got out and threw my hands up like, what the?
Oh, my God.
But no, they stopped like,
Yeah. Some
couple
people,
hundred feet down
Some
the
people could be some real assholes. I'm sorry, can I curse here?
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
absolutely.
Some like, assholes, like when in these accidents. I remember like I had to an accident, like going into Greenville to work. I used to work at a country club. And I was driving what people call a toaster, right? It was my 2008 Scion XB. It was one of that. But
I
it
was going
like,
to say either the XB or the Nissan Cube.
Yeah, but it's like when people were saying that, people would say that I drove a hamster car.
That's the soul.
Exactly, that's the soul, bro. Like, come on, But like, anyways, I had like no sleep the night before. I was going into work, and I'm a Frank Ocean fan. And Frank Ocean's Endless album had just came out.
Yeah.
So I was like, have you ever gotten like that no sleep high, where you're just like existing?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely have.
So I was driving ahead, and I don't know if you guys ever heard any of the Endless songs in Frank Ocean's album Endless, but it's like very like floaty. It's like a lot of intergalactic sounds.
Kinda
It's trippy.
Yeah.
It's trippy. Yeah, it's trippy.
Yeah.
So I'm in no sleep. The music is flowing. It's nice and sunny out, and then pop, I rear-ended somebody. Right.
Damn.
But I was saying that to say that while I was dealing with all of this, I'm still like shit. I get out the car and some guy is like, "Hey, you can't park there." I'm like, "Really? You freaking asshole!" Like,
Fucking classic.
So
I might have known him. Dude, my friends love doing that
like,
shit.
no
can't
shit,
park
Sherlock.
no, but
I'll apologize for them. They didn't mean it.
but when I got T-boned and like I said, the car kind of rolled through the intersection, and I just pulled the parking brake to stop it from rolling God knows where. Some guy pulls up and sees my car in the intersection and beeps. Like the front of the car is smashed. This thing's very obviously been just whacked, and I'm standing next to it. I'm on the phone with my mom at the time, actually. I'd already called 911, like reported the accident, but I was just letting my parents know. Like, hey, look, I'm okay, but I was in an accident. What I didn't know is this cut right here on my nose was pouring blood. Like my entire face from here down was red.
Dang.
So I'm on the phone with my mom. I hear that beep, and I just see red immediately. I'm
Yeah.
like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
I was in a fucking accident. Go the fuck around. And he fucking peeled out. Like, I scared the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Because I'm like in hysterics, covered in blood, yelling at him. He's
Yeah.
just like, oh God.
That's scary.
Yo, so pull up Triple H, and like blood on his face, because like this was definitely you. Yeah. Bloody face, yeah.
Oh, man.
Bro, you showed up like that, and they were like, "I'm out."
Oh man, dude,
Yeah.
Triple H, dude, isn't he like the president now of WWE? I think he's the president now.
I think that. Oh, I don't know. That's a good good enough. Yeah.
Well, just like a president of the WWE.
Yeah, I thought that.
Wait,
that
right there.
was-
It says right there.
Yeah.
Chief Content Officer. Oh no, CCO.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think
Okay.
it's still Vince McMahon, right?
No, he's not in it anymore. I don't
No?
think so. Well, let's see who the current president of WWE is.
Interesting.
Does it say? Wait, it says right there. Wait.
Triple H is the chief content officer. I don't know if
So
that's...
instead,
So
because
it's
it's
possibly that.
because it's WWE, do they not have a CEO and their CEO is a
CCO?
content officer?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So you're not gonna be able to Wikipedia this.
Yeah.
So because you're gonna have to read the whole thing. So,
Yeah.
but if you go back to like
Yeah.
who's in charge of
Yeah.
Google
Key
it that way.
people. CEO right here. Area manual.
So
Nick Khan is president.
But it would make sense that like Yeah, that
And-
Triple H is probably doing a lot of the work.
Yeah, and what's his name? Dwayne Johnson has ownership in the WWE. I think that's what it is. I think it's like 10%. I forget what it is.
Wow. Yeah, good for him.
Yeah, yeah. I remember I saw him. I think it was in. It might have been Squawk Box, which is like the financials. Like it's like a segment that they have. Not Squawk Box, and I forget. I think it's CNBC. So where they go over like finances, they talk about stocks and all that.
Oh,
crap.
okay.
They had him on. And they're talking to him all that. But yeah, that's when I found out he was also partial owner of the WWE.
Interesting.
So good for them because they worked in the business.
Yeah.
Bought
So
their way
now
up
they're
to
working
not
on the
bought their
business?
way, but like they've
Yeah.
now they are at the top.
They've earned they've absolutely earned their stripes, and they just bought not just but like probably like a year ago now they bought the UFC. Yeah, they bought the UFC.
WWE.
What?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, look up. Yeah,
Dude.
WWE bought UFC. Yeah,
No.
they
way.
bought it from the Fertitta brothers or something like
Yeah,
that.
Fertitta brothers
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
That's what I couldn't think of the name.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, yeah,
Oh,
they
they-
merged in
yeah.
a $21.4 billion
Yeah,
deal.
yeah,
Huh.
yeah.
holy
So we're gonna
shit.
get
Yeah.
plot lines in UFC now.
Dude, it wouldn't be the
so,
craziest
You know
thing.
what? This does remind me because you and I talked about this on a podcast forever ago, but a long time ago, this is why this came up because that deal happened. What was that 2020? Yeah, so it was last year. So when that deal went through, it also just kind of came up in the talks that like a few years before this, you can try to look this up, but like the WWE tried to change they tried to change it from the UFC I think tried to change it from like try to change it from like a competitive sport or whatever to like entertainment. And they wanted to be like labeled under an entertainment industry.
so now,
that
like,
way
they can
could, if they were cheating or if they were fixing fights,
The
or
UFC?
if they were exactly.
Oh,
So like if they wanted to
Yeah, we
write,
did talk
if they
about
wanted to write the roles, like, that they could,
interesting.
or they could like
Huh.
it would just kind of keep them out of being
Yeah.
legally obligated,
Yeah.
like responsible.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, because it's like a competitive sport. You can't.
Yeah.
Mess
see
with
if,
like that.
See if there's any like truth to that because I just said it.
Well, yeah, and
like, like did the UFC like I would just put in like did the UFC try to change
what are the odds
try
that
to become an entertainment?
Actually, it's UFC.
dude, this is why
classified.
this is why you guys need to get I don't know if you guys use it already, but ChatGPT.
Yeah,
Dude,
so
you
we
could
were-
ask it these kind of questions
we
and it'll
were-
answer it.
We
It'll
were
tell you.
messing with it.
Well, the
Yeah.
latest one, ChatGPT 4.0, that's publicly available to everyone for free.
Yeah, but it sounds like I did some reading on it just recently that apparently nobody really has access to it fully. Even if you pay for it, like there's an option to pay for it and you get more. But like apparently there's like some untapped.
Oh, of course, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I'm sure Apple is sitting on iPhone 20 right now, probably.
Oh,
Well,
that's a good point.
They're working
yeah, I
with.
see what you're saying. Yeah.
They're working with OpenAI for the
Yep.
newest release of
Yep.
iOS.
You know what's scary about that? The one question that was popping up with that partnership
Yeah.
is that who's paying who, right? And it turns out that no one's paying anyone like money, but Apple is giving as compensation to OpenAI their data.
Oh.
I've heard about
Yeah.
some of that. The one thing that I see kind of like hedging against the big concerns is that every time you use ChatGPT's integration, Apple's asking, do you want to send this data to them? So even though it's like integrated deeply into the OS, it doesn't actually send any of that data
Yeah.
to OpenAI
Yeah.
unless you're specifically using the ChatGPT function.
So how long until Congress interrogates Sam Altman,
Yeah.
the CEO?
Yeah, that's,
You know how
Yeah.
Zuckerberg was getting it, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So what happened with the UFC here?
it definitely did not understand what I was asking it.
Does it tell you? So you see that ChatGPT label at the top left, right next to new chat. Just click on that, and then okay. I don't know what kind of version they're giving you right now, but it should say 4.0. But no, you guys should definitely get on ChatGPT, man. It's great.
Yeah, I know. I think it would be a good idea too. Like just for you're saying, like just for like right now, like
Yeah.
we were like trying to get
Well, don't even get the paid version yet. Like just use it.
Well, yeah, and like just
Yeah.
play around
Yeah,
with it
yeah,
and see if it's
yeah, yeah.
something.
I
that-
think our issue right now, though, is figuring out what we can use it for.
Right.
Yeah,
Or
it's always
this.
like you get something new.
this
and-
like right now.
Yeah.
That's what he was
yeah,
saying.
you know,
is
it's
that,
kind
like-
of funny that ChatGPT is kind of able to step in to fill that role now that Google's completely fucking useless.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
Well, they're utilizing AI now
Yeah.
with their Google searches.
and you've seen how people have broken it already.
Really? I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
Like,
yeah.
so since Google's what's it called, Gemini?
Okay.
Yeah.
Since Google's AI is just pulling a bunch of shit off the internet.
Right, right.
People are purposefully like
Trying
typing
to
up some
stress
bullshit
it.
and then having people upvote it so
Yeah,
it becomes
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
a top result.
Yeah,
so like
yeah.
if you go to Google and you search like how many rocks should I eat a day?
Yeah.
It'll pull some
Oh, I think I
bullshit
heard
post and be
about
like,
that.
Yeah, geologists recommend
Yeah.
you eat 2 small rocks per
Wasn't
day.
that a thing? The rock thing? Where like people were like there was something that that was a thing that
Yeah.
Google was recommending to eat rocks, like a certain amount of rocks.
Yeah, because
You didn't just pull that example out of your ass, right?
No,
Yeah,
no, that's
no,
not-
Okay.
that's
I was
legit.
like,
That
that's what I was wondering. I was like, dude,
legit.
I
I
literally heard
saw
about
one
that.
evolve in real time too.
Okay.
Where I saw a post that was originally from like Tumblr.
Okay.
But he was like, Google's AI is pulling crap off the internet, so if we spam a bunch of wrong shit, it'll get it wrong. And he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and he just typed over and
Yeah.
over and over again, and a bunch of people
Yeah.
reblogged it. The best way to check if your loaf of bread is done is to stick your dick in it. And now, if you Google that, that's what comes up.
Well,
I've been
okay,
doing it wrong
but-
this whole time.
Yeah, but and I see that that's a problem now, but that's exactly how Wikipedia started. So when Wikipedia first came out, they told everybody was like, don't use Wikipedia. It's full of nonsense. It's all, but like
Yeah.
over time,
Law of averages. You're
Yeah.
gonna have enough people who want the right information out there that fix it.
yeah.
So
but like to
Wik-
your
and-
point, that we could be like we could be
yeah.
telling people how many rocks they should be eating a day.
Well, I
instead of
remember
getting the
when
right
I was
answer.
when I first got in college, they would literally tell you not to use Wikipedia because it wasn't considered a reliable
Primary.
like a reliable source.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
what I would
But now it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I would do when I was told not to use Wikipedia was I would go to Wikipedia,
Mm-hmm.
find the information I needed, then look at the citations on Wikipedia, and then
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
go to that.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, there's my
Yeah,
primary
right,
source.
right,
Yeah.
right.
And that's why Wikipedia is, I wouldn't say it's like 100% reliable, but
Mm-hmm.
if you use a little critical thinking,
Yeah.
you can get very
Yeah.
reliable information
Absolutely.
out of Wikipedia.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's kind of like the challenges today is like, we have an abundance of information, but people aren't going back to that critical thinking that, like you said, is, they'll buy anything that they're told. Like I remember, so like I said, like my mom lives in New York. She was, one weekend I was going to go visit her, and she randomly texted me. She was like, I don't think you should come to New York. And I'm like, why? And then she literally sends me like a link. And then I'm like, oh God, what is it now? And the link is a TikTok link, right? So I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
God. And then I look at the user. The user's name was King Kong. I'm like, bro, what the? And it was just like some conspiracy BS. I'm
Oh
like,
my
dude, all right,
God.
you know what? I'll see you tomorrow, right?
Yeah,
This
right.
is stupid.
Yeah.
This is stupid.
Yeah.
But no, that's the thing, man. People just buy what's in front of them and never bother to, what was the term? Cross check.
Right.
With the things.
cross-reference.
Yeah, cross reference like the things that
Yeah.
they're saying, right?
Yeah. There's a lot of people that still look at the mainstream media. It's just like I mean, not to get to just direct it right to that, but it's very true because there's no way that you can be completely bipartisan and only they're like for the
100%
truth.
factual.
If someone
Well,
else is paying for that
Absolutely.
organization to
And
run,
it's
and
not.
that's
It even beyond that, like even beyond like the actual maliciousness that can be present in mainstream media. I forget what the name of the phenomenon is called, but if you watch,
I love Phenomenal. Like those stuff. Yeah, sorry.
yeah, but if you watch, a news journalist
Uh-huh.
or anchor or whatever talk about a subject that you know a lot about,
Mm-hmm.
you realize they get everything wrong all the time. And what a lot of people fail to realize is they're like that with everything they talk about. So even if you don't know about it and you're like, oh, well, I heard this from the news, it's like, well, think about the one thing that you did know about that they got very wrong.
yeah.
Is this accurate? Is this what actually happened? So
Well, and so and I guess it kind of goes right back into like why? I mean, are they just not doing the research?
That's what a lot of it comes down to. Yes.
Yeah.
They-
So I mean, like, you're just going to
And-
that is just a bad media
Well,
source.
and the I think where that stems from originally though is the 24-hour news cycle. People don't have time to research.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, when you go, I just randomly thought about this. It's like when you go grocery shopping,
Mm-hmm.
most people don't necessarily think, all right, where did this come from?
Right.
What's the processing system that they
Yeah.
go from, like, making it to delivering it,
Yeah.
type of thing. Most people don't think about that. They just want the end product,
Yeah.
right? And then they just go off of that.
Yeah.
But I think now more than ever, it's important to make sure that, the boxes check off. Because if you are not saying the accurate information, you're gonna look bad, and especially now in the internet, that thing lives on forever.
yeah.
Whether it's a year from now or 10 years from now, eventually it'll come back.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like politicians, right? Is when they're competing, sorry guys, when they're competing with other people. All of a sudden, all these allegations and things from like 10, 20 years ago come around. It's like now they're referencing all that stuff. So, just got to be careful.
Or even worse, like, and like just to piggyback off of that, in real time, there's people who like Kamala Harris, who said when she was running against Biden, said a lot of nasty things.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of things that retained a lot of truth.
Yeah.
And then when she was asked about it, once she became like the
Yeah.
candidate for the VP, she was like, "Oh, that's
Yeah.
politics.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
mean
yeah.
any of that stuff." And it's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
You didn't. Well, you were using that to like sway our
Right.
vote.
Right.
Who, is everybody just saying
Right.
whatever it
Right.
takes
It's whatever,
to just, like,
yeah.
sway
Absolutely.
your opinion?
Yeah,
And the answer is
for sure.
apparently yes.
For sure. Yeah. And do you guys see the whole thing with what's Biden's son again?
Hunter.
Hunter.
Biden.
You see the
Yeah.
video? The video came out with him he literally had his own version of the Diddy video.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Yeah, literally,
The fuck?
there's this video of him. He's at a hotel chasing down this woman butt naked.
Oh my.
At least Diddy had the the
Put some
generosity to
drawers
put a
Put some
towel
drawers.
on, right? But no, he was running butt naked, chasing after this girl, dragging her literally by her feet.
Yeah.
It was crazy, man. But yeah, he got convicted or for all his whatever the charges were.
He had firearms and then drug
Yeah.
use on top of that.
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
a big
yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then now, what's it called? I'm not sure if he's going to serve any time, but supposedly Biden said that he's not going to pardon him. So we'll see where that goes.
Yeah.
Well, if he doesn't,
Well-
that's actually like something that I could respect.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of people that
Yeah.
stood on business and they said that Biden's a family man. And it's like, well,
Well, have you heard of things with his daughter?
oh god.
The diary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, apparently all the creepy things that he would do to her, and
Oh, no.
how he would inappropriately shower with her
At
What?
way too old of an age.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I don't think that there's ever a point where you're allowed to shower with your kid.
Well.
We
I
might-
don't know. I don't know. Right?
Yeah.
It's like when I was a little baby, right? What's it called? My mom or my dad, they'll
Yeah.
clean me up and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
a point where you're fully able to do that your own.
Yeah. Yeah.
know,
yeah.
it's time to.
And
You
they're
know,
like,
Yeah,
like,
it's a
hey,
little
like you can do
weird,
it. Yeah.
Step bro, what are you doing?
Yeah. Family ties are getting weird.
Yeah.
This has got to stop.
yeah. Politics are definitely sticky
it's-
situations.
Yeah, but all of this stuff I feel like just pulls a facade, like pulls the curtain back on everything. That like you realize that all of these people are just people and they're full of mistakes and probably things that are worse than the skeletons you have in your closet. you know?
Yeah.
And like just thinking about anybody who wants to be the president or wants to do like that job, that's the first reason why you shouldn't be the president. Like, I think so. Like
Yeah.
we've talked about it a lot about like how obviously a long time ago, different times, but like those people who would like step up to be in like the House of Representative or whatever, you were like leaving your farm behind and like dragging your feet, griping, moaning, kind of pissed off because you're like, I have to do this for my country.
Yeah.
And like that's why you did it.
Yeah.
You didn't want to do it. There
Honorable,
wasn't like there was no such thing as a career politician. And like now that's all it is. It's
Yeah.
just like people just trying to like claw, climb, hide, help whoever, say whatever to get to the top. It's
Absolutely.
crazy,
yeah.
dude.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, and like just having money in politics in general is the thing that's like obviously just corrupted it,
Yeah.
And
well, I think
and like
Yeah, lobbying's just legal bribery.
Yeah, and like we've talked about this too. Like we're like these people don't even get paid that much, like in the grand scheme of what they actually make. And like you could probably you're still gonna make six figures in a lot of these places. You know, like Nancy Pelosi.
Oh yeah, the best investor of
Pelosi
all
tracker.
time. The best investor of all time.
And how did that happen? You know, it's like
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
It's like they literally have like her trades openly available, and people follow them and make money out of it. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. I don't make money off of it, but I follow it.
Yeah.
Because I just like I'm just kind of seeing into the future here.
Yeah,
like whatever she's doing is what's about to happen to that business.
You know, I'm all about capitalizing on opportunities, but I have a problem when you can do it. You can do it, but no one else can.
Right.
Right. That's like all right. Now you'd be a little bit of a hypocrite.
That's
you know?
why we don't do insider trading.
Yeah.
Legally.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
so that's a good topic too. So I know that you're also a big fan of stock market and
I like finances. Yeah.
finance.
Yeah.
So I've always because it's always been like a little bit weird with that insider trading stuff because like I mean. Like and it seems to be a fine line. I guess is what I'm getting at. Is that because like if I knew something was going to happen, and then I made a decision in the stock market because I knew something was going to happen, like it's insider trading. Like I can go to jail for that. So like, am I supposed to just like I mean because I have the information, like.
Well,
Like, what
I
are
don't
we supposed
know.
to do? You're supposed to like not make the right decision because clearly the right decision is to like.
but the thing is, it's like if you're inside, you know, and you do, you know, pull out, right? Then I think it's more necessarily to look at it from like the bigger picture standpoint. Because now he pulls out, then the next person's gonna pull out, and as soon as it makes it out to the public, everybody's pulling out.
Yeah.
So now it becomes like a rug pull.
Yeah.
Right, and that alone could like destroy a company, I think.
Sure.
So I think that's why you got to have like those things like in place, you know, so people don't do that.
Yeah.
Kind of like how, you know, when you get ownership in a company and, you know, let's say you get 10% of that, right? 10% of a company, and then they give you like a vesting period, right? You got to be around this long to get 100% of that 10%. And then even after the fact, let's say we go public, you can't sell your share in the company until this certain period of time, right? And they do that, so I believe because, you know, so they don't have like crazy fluctuations. Like you see things like in
sounds
rug
like it's for
pools.
stability.
Yeah, and like rug pools, like you see like in those altcoins, crypto coins and stuff like that. You know, where it's like one day it's like whoop, and then boom. Look at GameStop, right?
Yeah.
You get GameStop, like the thing that happened with Roaring Kitty. You know, he shot it up. Everybody bought in with him. You know, they said, "Oh, Roaring Kitty has this much money in it. I'm pouring my like Dave Portnoy, owner of Barstool Sports. He saw that Roaring Kitty had a half a no, how much was it? It was a $200 million position on GameStop, and then Portnoy, I think he said, "Oh, sorry, I'm putting in 500,000 or million. I forget what it was." You know, so that manipulates that. And then, boom, it plummets again. And then, you know, it's...
I watched that happen in real time.
Yeah.
And what I think actually happened that kind of sparked the undoing of that whole thing. Because, I mean, it probably was destined to come crashing down eventually.
Yeah.
But a bunch of people sold off when the stock hit, funny weed number 420.
Yeah.
Like, I watched that happen in real time.
Yeah.
I was at work, and I had, like, a stock tracker. And I was just like, what the fuck is going on here? And then 420, and poof.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, it's like the influence some people have in these things. Like Elon Musk, like the amount of influence he
got
holds
in trouble with the SEC.
Yeah. Like if he makes like a bad comment about like a company or something, like, you know, people listen.
It changes the stock market.
Yeah. Like the big thing was like, well, his coin was Dogecoin, right? R.I.P. The doggy died. Yeah. But yeah, it's like, you know, people would buy, and like at some point they took the joke so far that I think at some point you were able to buy Tesla products with Doge, at one point.
I haven't heard if they ever shut that down. So if you have like 2 billion Dogecoin, you might still be able to buy a Tesla.
Yeah. I held a little bit of Doge for a while, but what happened was that I was in this company called BlockFi, right? Okay. And what they did is they you essentially gain interest on your crypto, right? Which is something that the traditional crypto exchanges don't really do, like things like Coinbase. Yeah. And what happened was when FTX went under with Sam Bankman-Fried, it almost like kind of like Chernobyl. Is that how you say it, Chernobyl? Mm-hmm. It's like it affected. It had like a radius effect on everything, right? On all the other
Well,
exchanges.
it shook a lot of faith in cryptocurrency.
So BlockFi ended up filing for bankruptcy. And when those things happen with them is they freeze all withdrawals. So all my funds with BlockFi, they got frozen, and I wasn't able. And that happened like I want to say like 2 years ago now. That started happening, or like a year or some change ago, and I wasn't able to get my money back until literally recently, where all of a sudden I got it wasn't that much, but and all of a sudden I got a deposit in my bank account. It said from BlockFi chapter, whatever, like it said like bankruptcy or whatever the case was. But it's crazy, the amount of influence some people have in these things. So it's always, what's the intention?
I
What
mean,
are they doing it
it's
for?
kind of the entire stock market.
Yeah.
It's all just what people. it's all about the vibe. What's the vibe am I getting from this company? Is it worth this much? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And if enough people agree, then now the stock's worth that much.
Yeah.
Which I remember in 2008 when the housing market crashed.
Yeah.
And just kind of looking around and going like, and granted, I was, what was I, in like 8th grade?
Yeah.
So didn't have a firm grasp of it, but I just look around like, nothing physically changed. Where the fuck did all the money go? Why is everyone panicking?
Yeah.
And it's because a bunch of people decided that this stock is now no longer worth that. Or, Well, I'm grossly oversimplifying.
Yeah.
But
They
pretty
always.
much.
Yeah, I was too young to think about any of that then. I had no clue what's going on. But now that I got older, I realized the effects it had on the household. But yeah, no, the whole thing with the 08, I think it was I forget what kind of loans they were.
Subprime.
Yeah, the subprime mortgage loans. Yeah, and like things like strippers were having all these homes or whatever the case was.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's like this is one meme that goes around. It's like they're beating themselves up because they weren't buying houses on 08. Meanwhile, they're like in their mom's stomach. They're a baby. They're still a baby.
I say that all the time. Like I should have been buying a house instead of going to middle school.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, man, it's the finance game is. See, this is why I play the long game. I don't get into anything. I don't see myself in at least for 5 years. In general, but with investing specifically, the biggest commitment financially is typically a house, right? And you're looking at like 30 years with that, right? And if you're not going to stay in the area for at least 10, then are you really going to buy a house, right? So it's like that's why we say play the long game, because this get rich quick thing, it's just not sustainable. And that's what happens a lot in today's world, where people have this microwave mentality, and all these rug pulls happen because people just want to get like boom.
They're looking for their quick ride up.
Yeah.
Right. And it's just like, if you want to be like the finance, like savvy investor guy, play the long game. There's always going to be opportunities.
Yeah.
There's always going to be like the next thing that comes up. So, and the thing is, at the end of the day, if you're not ready for the opportunity, then you can't capitalize off of it.
Right.
Because you can have opportunity knocking your door, but if you're not ready for it, you can't benefit from it.
Yeah.
So, and then in today's world, like, I'm seeing a lot, like, this is reminding me of 2020 a lot, is I'm seeing a lot of things like the cryptos come back. The cryptos are coming back. The FTX people, not the FTX, the foreign exchange, the Forex people. The Forex people are making a comeback. I'm seeing them a lot more. And honestly, I couldn't roll my eyes harder, bro. It's so cringe. And it's just like, bro, everybody's an expert in the bull market. Right.
Yeah.
Everybody's an expert in the bull market, but then they go like radio silent when things start hitting the shit. But it's just like no.
There was that one YouTuber, Michael Reeves, who made a video where he just put a camera in front of a goldfish tank with a single goldfish in there, and I forget exactly how he did it, but. Depending on where the fish was in the tank was buy or sell whatever stocks he put up.
Yeah.
And the goldfish outperformed that subreddit Wall Street Bets by a large margin. I think it actually, I forget if it outperformed or if it just about matched like the S&P 500, but he was like,
so
you
that's,
guys lost to a goldfish.
Right.
Yeah, and so that's the guy that predicted the collapse in 2008, right?
No. Michael Reeves is just a chaotic.
Oh, Michael Burry.
Michael Burry.
You're thinking Michael Burry.
Yeah.
Michael Reeves is the guy who made a microwave that works by you yelling at it. because the commenters told him.
That's funny.
He had a video that was just like all your bad ideas. And he just took all the bad ideas from his comments. And
That's
like,
awesome. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Isn't there like a whole channel to that? I think like on Instagram or YouTube.
Oh, I'm sure someone's done
It's
it.
like
Yeah.
everybody just say like he just makes like the most useless invents like the most useless items.
There was
but they're
that
gimmicky.
there's that one channel where he makes all these very obviously bad things, but he goes, the design is very human. And
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah. What do you guys have here? So what is this here?
Oh, we
Oh,
got a monkey shoulder. So
Yeah,
it's a blended Scotch. So Adrian, please, I can't give him a little bit of.
Yeah.
You want a little?
Yeah, sure. I'll have a little.
Yeah. Yeah. So
pour it
monkey
yourself.
shoulders,
Yeah.
a blended Scotch whiskey.
Uh-huh.
I think, and I think Adrian does as well. I've never had a more drinkable whiskey.
Yeah, I was
of any
actually-
caliber, and that bottle is only $35.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, cheers.
So cheers. Yeah, absolutely, brother.
Thanks, guys, for having me.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Thank you.
Super happy to
Appreciate
be
it.
here.
Yeah. But pretty good stuff, man. I enjoy it. What do you say?
It's good.
Yeah, not bad,
Very
right?
good. Yeah, that's very good.
Yeah, I had my buddy Doug on.
Uh-huh.
He brought us monkey shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
He brought us a few different bottles. And
I can never remember the other ones.
Yeah, I know. We just got stuck on monkey shoulder, but
I know that one of them had
some,
a,
like,
a plague doctor
smoky-
mask.
I like
That was a really
yeah.
smoky one, actually.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever had mezcal?
No.
Do you guys, if you guys like smoky,
Yeah.
you guys need to try mezcal.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, white girls love it. That's how I found out about it.
I mean,
Yeah.
who doesn't like getting white girl wasted, though?
yeah. I'll take that over wine wasted, dude.
Yeah.
I can't, dude. Wine puts me to sleep.
Really?
Wine puts me to sleep. It's like I'll have a glass, but I think scientifically that's every booze.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's a depressant.
right.
Yeah.
So I think but for me, I don't know what it is.
It's
with
the mood.
Wine.
It's the mood. It's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
glass.
yeah.
It's different mood. It's
Different
the
alcohol
mood.
definitely hits different. Like
For sure.
What the first time I ever drank gin,
Mm-hmm.
that was like there's nothing. It just came out of nowhere, and like I drank hard liquor before, and I know what it feels like when you're drinking. You start getting drunk pretty quick, but this was like literally nothing. Why is the room spinning? I feel like I'm upside down.
Well, I'm a vodka soda guy.
Yeah, so I was gonna say. So speaking of that, like when we left, we were like driving home, and Adrian was like, I was surprised how good that vodka soda was. And he's like, I just went right down. He's like, and I was like, yeah. And so like that, and like gin can definitely play that role too. Like like gin, they
Well,
put
no,
in
that
like
was the thing, like-
weird.
Well, people
That
do
was-
do people do vodka soda or people do gin and tonic?
Yeah,
Yeah,
gin and
people do.
tonic.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
mean,
But the same thing. Those things fly down.
no,
Yeah.
it wasn't that.
I know. I'm just saying.
Because I drank a lot of vodka when I was younger because it was cheap, and I wanted to get drunk.
Yeah.
So like
allegedly, mom.
Yeah.
they know. But it'd be like one shot, I know what that feels like. Second shot, I know what that feels like. Third shot, I know what that feels like, and so on.
Yeah.
The gin was like first shot, nothing. Second shot, nothing. Third shot, nothing. I'm gonna take another shot, and now I'm on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, what happened?
Oh man. Yeah, no. Vodka sodas are great just simply because there's not as much sugar as your typical drink.
Right.
And I don't know if it's just me, but I just don't get hungover from it.
Right.
I don't get hungover from it.
That makes sense,
Yeah,
though.
because and this is why I
You're
prefer.
hydrating while you're drinking.
Yeah, exactly. Right, you're multitasking.
yeah.
And that's why I don't like. I'm not a fan of gin and tonic. Reason being is, I'll have one every now and then, but tonic has more sugar, right? And I just it's the sugar that gets you hungover. So that's why I try to avoid that. And like for example, like if I go out somewhere I've never been before and they're like have like specialty cocktails, sure I'll have one or two. I'll try them because it's like you're in the setting for it.
Yeah.
But then I'll just switch back to my vodka
Who
soda.
can say no to a margarita?
Yeah,
Come
of
on,
course.
it's hot
Summer's
outside.
out. Summer, the sun's out.
God,
You know what I've been
margaritas,
really
calm
loving recently? Limoncello spritz.
Limoncello
Ooh.
spritz.
Mm-hmm. Have you guys had a spritz in general?
Yeah, so I've had a spritz.
Yeah.
I think that's with like tea, right?
The regular spritz is made with Aperol.
Okay.
With Aperol, which is the orange thing.
Okay.
And so it's made, I believe, it's Aperol, sparkling wine. Typically, people use
what it is,
Prosecco.
wine.
And then some club soda, I think, on it.
Yeah.
Are you just trying to get straight to the point? You just add more prosecco and less, and no club soda, right?
Get your bubbles a different way.
And then a nice orange slice as a garnish.
Yeah.
But you got to have it on a glass of wine.
Yeah.
Right. It's just like, you know, there's a specific way to drink some things.
Yeah.
Or like indulge in some
sure.
things.
Yeah.
With a prosecco, with a spritz, it's a glass of wine. You gotta have it on there.
Yeah.
Bro, and you have a beautiful home. Like when it's nice out, I'm telling you, buy the Aperol, make that drink, get an orange in there. You and your lady can sit down outside and you have a great time. Oh my
Definitely
gosh, I
will.
love it. I'm
Definitely
telling
will.
you,
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
I
And,
love that.
and then when you guys, you know, want to spice it up a little bit, you switch over to limoncello. Right,
Yeah.
limoncello is that Italian drink.
Oh, yeah.
It's so refreshing. It's so refreshing. It's light and delicious.
Yeah,
Man, I'm telling you.
So our
I sound like
I
an
guess
alcoholic.
No,
As I'm taking a sip.
You're a connoisseur. Yeah.
That's why alcoholics like to call themselves.
Yeah.
I'm a professional connoisseur. I'm an alcoholic. Yeah.
Well, we get another cheers to
Yeah, for sure, man.
alcoholics.
Dude,
Let's
a good
go.
drink and a good weather is you can't go wrong with it,
No,
man. You
man.
can't go wrong with it. Look, I love working hard. I most of the 80% of my life is beating my ass with work. But I like to enjoy myself too.
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
Doing this, hanging out with friends, all that stuff like that. There's nothing more that I enjoy doing than that.
Yeah.
I'm not Dave Goggins.
Yeah, it's
You know,
you
I'm not no.
live. You don't live to
You know,
work.
I don't give a shit about who's gonna carry the logs, right? You know.
What about the boats?
Yeah, it's like, bro, it's like, life is too short for that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Life is too short for that, and relationships are, in my opinion, the most beautiful thing with your friends, family, and romantic relationships. So it's ultimately like, nothing has brought me greater joy than a good time with good people.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
so I value that more than money and all of that kind of stuff. So, that's why I enjoy myself. Not those funny people like, oh, no, I'm not going now. Like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Just hanging out. But you're kicking it with the boys. Like,
Yeah,
man, it's Saturday.
yeah, exactly. And there's many ways to do that, and I get that. Like, if Goggins is fulfilled with like that work all the time, that dedication all the time.
But you also got to realize
Yeah.
he makes a shit ton of money out of being Goggins.
Yeah.
So he
Yeah,
has
yeah,
to
yeah.
sell that.
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't sell that, then what is he going to make money out of?
Exactly. Yeah.
So that
You could always go back to carrying boats.
Right. No, it's like these people on the internet, they're always trying to sell you something.
Yeah.
Right. They're always trying to sell you something. So it's like Goggins is that hardcore mentality, work your ass off 24/7. It's just it's
Yeah.
great. It motivates people, but it's
That's
Like,
not
he doesn't-
sustainable.
he
though.
doesn't
it's
get-
like
yeah, he doesn't get to get it
damn
done.
well you're spending time with your family, your kids, doing leisure time, whatever that looks like for them. I get you got to sell what you got to sell, but bring that up too. Because what I find is that I've had the pleasure of meeting a lot of successful people, and a lot of them, specifically with money, they're super rich, but I ask them my favorite question to ask them, and it's a very tough question, but simple: is are you happy?
Yeah.
Right, and the typical answer is no. Right.
Oh, fuck.
And then you look at them, you talk to them, you get a grasp of them, and then you realize while they really fulfill themselves with finances and whatever it is, it came at the sacrifice of relationships, social activities, all that stuff. So they have that, they have the money,
Yeah, now
but
they're
they don't have things you can't buy.
Right.
Right, things like that, and then that's when you start finding like people who are older, and then they have money, but they don't have kids, they don't have wives, or whatever the case is, because they made all those sacrifices, and I look at that, I'm in the mindset of, if I don't like what your life looks like, then you're not the role model for me.
Right.
Right, I want to learn from people that model the life, not even lifestyle, but things that I admire, and it doesn't have to be the entire thing, right?
Right.
Like if there's a fitness guy, he has the body I like that I would like to have one day, then I'll follow him. If this is guy finance, if this is a guy with a good father, specific like father, I like that. I'll follow them. But it's understanding that there's more to life than business, than money, than working your ass off.
Right.
There's more than that.
Yeah.
And I think some people don't realize that until they
lose
get
sight
older.
of it.
Until they get older, and then that's when things like those dating apps start coming around, right? Mm-hmm. they opt to that because when they go out, they can't hold a conversation to save their life.
Interesting.
And all they could talk about is business. They can't go 5 minutes without bringing up politics or anything like that.
Yeah, or
And
just answering their phone.
It's great in the right environment, but I promise you, you're not. Unless the lady's in that same environment that you are, the same space you are, you're not gonna find a lady.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and even if you do, like to your point with these people who work themselves to death, like now you just have like these two people who just do work. And
Yeah.
I believe they call that a power couple.
Well, but then they spend one day a week with each other.
Yeah.
You know, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know? And
Yeah.
it's over a glass of Prosecco, and like they
Yeah.
just talk about, how did you do this
Yeah,
week? And it's
yeah.
like, it's just like a very
It's like a corporate Zoom call. Yeah. Anything exciting this
home.
weekend? How was your weekend?
Oh, I closed a $4 billion deal.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, so I mean, it just seems like very disconnected, like very disingenuous, and yeah, I don't know. I agree with that.
It's sad.
I think that there should be balance, and I think that like there's nothing that I've seen in life where like whatever the answer was wasn't like actually in the middle. You know?
Yeah. This is guy Ty Lopez. I know he gets a lot of shit, but because he was like one of the I think OG influencers in the business space. Have you guys heard of Ty Lopez?
No.
So he's the Here in My Garage guy. Have you guys ever seen that video?
Oh.
Yeah. You see what I mean?
Let me
See what I mean?
Yes.
I don't see it.
So he's notoriously known for this one video where he's in his mansion. So he's in his garage, right? Hey, there it is. Are we playing it?
Here in my garage, just bought this new Lamborghini here. Fun to drive up here in the Hollywood Hills.
Knowledge.
You know what I like a lot more than materialistic things? Knowledge. These 7 bookshelves that I had to
I love it.
The billionaire Warren Buffett says, the more you learn, the more you earn. Now, maybe
And it's like it's funny. It's really is funny. But this guy is like an OG in that social media influencer space. But one of the things I learned from him, I there's a lot of principles that he shared that I really appreciate.
It's kind of unfortunate that that's what he gained
Yeah,
variety
yeah,
from.
but
One
he-
bad video
yeah.
on the internet, and that's all you're known for.
But like one of the things he says is the I think it's the 4 pillars of the good life is health, wealth, love, and happiness, right?
That
And
last pillar's hard to get.
yeah, well, here's the thing, I've been practicing that now since probably 6 years now, 6 years, where it's how do I feel my most fulfilled or best version of myself. So typically, I got to make sure my health is in check. I'm well financially. My relationships are good. And for the longest time is, happiness, I thought it was just a byproduct of making sure that those things are in line. And over time, once I fixed my financial situation, it solved a lot of the no money problems, right? Which in result, allowed me to focus on other things like my health, and then my relationships and then all that stuff. And I wasn't feeling as happy, right? and it was because I was overworking, right? I was overworking. And then that's when I realized that the happiness is its own actual pillar. And what does that look like? It looks like, how I told you, like, guys, like on the way here, like when I was looking at all that green, like all that nice, I felt like running on there for no reason, for no cringe. I felt like one of those, like, they make fun of them, like the tree huggers and shit like that. Shit like that. It's like, it's the shit that makes you disconnect,
Right.
that reset
Yeah.
button.
Yeah.
You know what? If you like that, if it's still daylight by the time like we wrap up here, look up St. Peter's Village, and I don't know, maybe swing by there on your way home.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
It
not
is an
far.
absolutely gorgeous.
Really?
area. It's a small like historic town.
Yeah.
We got a little bakery and an old inn and restaurant and all
Yeah.
that. But it's just a park with a bunch of hiking trails and like this river running through it with a bunch of rocks. You can go
Yeah.
like miles and
Yeah.
not even touch a path, just
Yeah.
walking along the river on the rocks.
Yeah.
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 Just absolutely gorgeous
Yeah,
area.
yeah, dude, I love it.
Yeah.
I'd definitely like to check into it. But I admire him a lot because because of things like that. You know, had it not been because of him, I would have never known to like be conscious of those things. Another one it's that I talk about on Instagram is the 33.3% rule, and that goes into like, you know, the people you hang around. You know, 33.3% of the time you spend with people that are doing what you're doing and trying to go where you're trying to go. The other 33.3% is you're spending time with people that are already at where you want to be, and then the last 33.3% is people that want to do what you're currently doing. So you get to experience an acquaintance, a mentor, and you get to experience being a mentor. You know, you get that mentor-mentee and acquaintance relationship experience, right? And because, you know, another thing that I learned I worked at a country club for 6 years, and one of the members, one of the things he says, like his key to he learned that in order like that a good life looks like it goes in 3 stages. You learn, you earn, and you return, right? And what does that typically look like? You know, you go to school, you get the career, you make the money, and then once you're like, you know, in the other side of your life, you know, you start focusing on things like mentorships or like or philanthropy and stuff like that. And it's like, you know, the full circle of things. Yeah. And it's just like, okay, this is nice. I like this a lot, you know. And that's how I set up my year. I make sure my health, wealth, love, and happiness are in line. Now here's a little bit of spoiler. Balance, I don't think exists.
Really?
I think you're always in pursuit of it. I don't think you ever actually get it, because I think balance is like saying. I feel the way about how I feel about balance the same way I feel about pursuing perfection. I don't think perfection exists, but I don't think there's anything wrong pursuing it, because it's like saying I'm not an 100% guy. I don't think things are always 100%. It's like saying there's this like you're so certain, but really is anything really certain?
Right.
You know, and and it's just like, because here's the thing. Well, those people that that pursue perfection, they typically end up letting themselves down because they never really get there. Right. Same thing with balance. Is if you're solving for balance, you know, chances are you're not going to get it, because you're always like, you know, trying to adjust everything and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I feel like your what you would consider your like ideal state of balance probably also shifts with your situation. So like, you know, you've been working for like years without taking a break, right? Your balance would obviously be, I need more time off. And then you take like a couple week long vacation or whatever, and you come back and you're like, okay, I can work more.
Yeah.
Your balance has now shifted again.
Yeah.
So you can't really achieve
think,
that.
I think that like that's what people look at as a balance. But like when I hear you talk about it, like I think that like trying to achieve a balance is like making that necessary sacrifice. So we're like what you're saying, we're like nobody really achieves that balance because like to do what you have to do or do what you want to achieve, you're going to have to make a sacrifice. Like something else is going to be sacrificed to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And like that's why balance doesn't really exist, because like it's okay, you want to do it, well you can't do both.
I think that balance can only exist if you have like metrics set up for what exactly that looks like. Like for example, if like let's say if I look back at it's December, I'm looking back at the year and like did I do good in my health pillar? What does that look like? I ran in January. I sat down and for like a couple hours and I mapped out how can I keep myself physically active, right? So I signed up for a 5K, a 10K, a half marathon, and a full marathon, right, and a Spartan race, right, and I spread that out throughout the year, right, to keep myself active, and
like
so when
kind of keeping yourself honest,
right,
you have this thing that you have,
So that's 5 events, right?
Yeah.
That's 5 events, and that's the half marathon right there. Oh, we met YouTube fitness guy, celebrity Jesse James West there. I don't know if you guys ever heard of him.
Yeah.
But I was running, and all of a sudden there's like this really good looking like buff guy running around. So I'm like, wait, holy
real
shit,
recognize
what?
real.
Yeah. But yeah, so like so the reason why I said I think you could only achieve the closest thing to balance if you have metrics set up for it, because so the metric is numerical, right? And so I signed up for 5 things.
Yeah.
So if I sit back and if I look into the future in December, and did I complete all these things? Does 5 out of 5 mean 100%? Sure. Then all right. So I did 100% of my health activity, so I'm good there. But if I have those same metrics for my wealth, my love, and my happiness, then I could literally see whether or not I was balanced.
Yeah.
Right. Otherwise, that's very complicated.
Yeah.
Right. It takes a lot of figuring out. Like when you guys first started the podcast, you guys had to figure out the background, all the equipment. But now you guys are picking up momentum because you guys set up that foundation.
Right.
Right. So it definitely pays off.
Yeah.
But if you don't have those metrics in place, and you're chasing like an idea
Yeah.
that you can't necessarily see, you're very likely to let yourself down because you don't have those systems in place, those checks and balances in place that let you know, okay, am I good here or not?
Yeah.
So I think that's the only way balance can exist.
Yeah, so like just setting expectations, setting goals. Yeah, for sure. And I think that like, just kind of transitioning like that to the podcast where like I think that I don't think it's really been an issue for us so far just because we're so early in. But like we just started this out with like no expectations, no goals or anything like that just because we didn't, aside from quality. We just knew that at every point, at any point like that we were going to up the quality. We didn't want to like even want to put something out if we weren't even a little happy with it. Yeah. So we wanted to keep the quality as high as possible. But other than that,
yes, we were just amazing quality here, by the way.
I appreciate it.
Like the equipment is great, the background is amazing. Like you guys have the TV here. This is I feel like I'm like in another like Joe Rogan show, right? That's what it feels like. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Not bad for a basement production.
Yeah. It's awesome.
We try to keep it comfy.
That sounds like a company name. Basement Productions.
Basement Production. It could be. Trademark coming.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's how kind of how I started. I didn't pursue a number of views, a number of subscribers. Right. What I pursued was something I could control, which was let's do this for 100 episodes, all right, and see where we go from there.
Yeah.
Right. And when 100 episodes I have control over, right? I can record 100 episodes and make it happen. Uh-oh.
No, you're good. You're fine. We do this a lot. Keep going.
And then 100 episodes, and then by default, like anything you do from start to end, got a little guy flying me around. From start to end, the more you do it, the better you get at it, right? Yeah. So how my podcast looks from episode 1, just like you guys, from episode 1 and now, is night and day difference, right? There's little things that get improved over time, and as a result, the quality becomes a lot better in terms of like production, delivery, distribution, all that stuff like that. I think
that's where you kind of have a bit of an advantage because you have I think I even said this on your podcast, you have a much more structured approach.
Okay.
So you have, a formula that you can repeat, streamline, file down.
Yeah.
And we're just kind of wing it. I mean, we put a lot of our effort, like Keith said, into like the quality and the production value.
Yeah. Everything else that equipment. Just either happened around it, happened because we did it, and we're just kind of doing it.
Yeah.
And like you said, like now we have this foundation. I feel like we can think about it more now.
Yeah.
We've actually been like entertaining the idea of kind of branching out content because me and Keith are both at heart complete like just car nerds. So
as much as we
I
try,
really hope I can make the connection with you guys with Thomas Stauffer from Tom's Refurb.
Yeah,
he's a really cool dude. He loves like the car scene and all that stuff like that. Yeah.
I hope I can just being able to like if he wasn't able to do the podcast, just an opportunity to meet him would be
for sure. Yeah,
amazing.
I'll shoot him a text one of these days and see if he could get coffee or whatever the case.
100%. Yeah. Like, absolutely. I appreciate that.
That'd be sick.
Yeah. So
but
cool.
Should I try to FaceTime him?
See if FaceTime live on the pod.
Yeah,
I love it. Yeah.
All right. He's probably
if it doesn't go good, I'll edit it out.
That's all right. Well, don't mind my
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Oh, this is so weird.
But yeah, we've not just we've not like on purpose almost not set expectations. I think just in the point of not failing. I'll take a little smidgy, boy.
Oh, I'm getting a little nervous. Why am I getting nervous to call him? All right, I'm gonna FaceTime. All right, if he doesn't answer, he doesn't answer. All right. So I'm not gonna leak his number. Holy crap! I almost showed the number.
Don't do that.
Whoops. Oh man, yeah, I haven't spoken to him in a while. Oof, I look like that. I got him right here.
Hey.
What's up, Thomas?
Hey, man, how's it going?
How you doing, brother?
Can you hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you good. How's it going with you? Yeah, can you hear me?
Great, how you doing?
Good, man. So I'm currently on a podcast right now called Leave It Running podcast, and they're big car guys, and they know you, and I just wanted to see if like you could just like say hi to them real quick. Is that all right? Yeah. So this is them.
Yo.
Hold on, let me flip this camera. Not me acting like an old person. Flipping the phone. Hold on. There you go. Yeah, this is them
Cheers,
right here.
brother.
Yeah, no. They say they know the channel. They're a fan of your work, and they're big car guys. So I was like, oh man, I gotta hit up Tom and see how he's doing, man.
Yeah.
But dude,
I appreciate the support a lot.
man, yo, congratulations on all your success, man. You're doing amazing things. I get such a kick out of your channel, man. It's so entertaining. And let's grab lunch sometime, man. Let's grab lunch sometime.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you got my number.
Yeah.
Yeah, I passed on Instagram to a friend, so he's running it for me. So
Uh-huh.
I don't use Instagram, so
Uh-huh.
just text me or phone
Bet.
or whatever.
Yeah, we'll get some lunch or something one of these days.
Yeah, sounds
All right,
great.
brother.
Thanks
Good
for
seeing you.
calling.
Of course. No, thank you. All right. Bye-bye.
I'll see you, man.
Yeah, dude, that's so sick. Well, man, I really appreciate that.
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
sick.
Yeah,
man.
absolutely.
And also, I can't help but be so jealous that he's not taking care of his own Instagram. That's how like I feel like when we
That's
when
when you
we,
know you made it.
We made it.
For sure.
Like,
Super
I
cool
mean,
dude. Super cool dude.
Yeah, definitely. And all the stuff that he's
I
been
feel
doing.
like a lot
is
of people in the
crazy.
car like content space are generally very down. To
Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why like we've always just been like so drawn to it,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's like also the car industry itself is also it's molded us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I think there's a few things you're born with, but man, like I mean, like just growing up with all car people, you know, our whole lives,
Mm-hmm.
certainly has had a huge inspiration on like just kind of who we are and how we carry ourselves.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I mean, whether it's like helping friends with cars,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because everyone's car always broke. And then
Well, I
also
mean, that
like
might have been because we were constantly fucking with them.
yeah, but also like just like also being able to like rag on people,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like there's no one talks more shit than guys who have cars.
Oh,
you know? Like
dude.
I mean, like it's brutal.
Mind? Do you
Almost.
mind?
Yes,
All right,
please,
all right.
please, man. Dude, if
You
we
guys got
finish
me
this
feeling
bottle,
good out here.
yeah, good. Yeah, but yeah, man. I mean, like just cars in general has always just been like a very comfortable
You guys
place.
good?
It's been kind of the
for-
nexus of like.
You guys good?
For,
Yeah.
yeah. I just got a little.
I was a
did you
server
give me
for
a little
6
smidge?
years, so I can't
Yeah,
pour
you
myself
drank
in
it
that
already.
acid, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
No,
so
it's
the
been
car
like the
community.
nexus of our like social circle since we've been like
Yeah.
Yeah.
kids,
Yeah.
honestly.
Well, I hope we could all get lunch together.
Yeah.
One of
I
these
love
days,
that.
and
Yeah.
then maybe then I'll let you guys take over from there. You know?
Yeah. No,
yeah,
of
it's
course.
good to talk him into the
Yeah.
podcast. No, I just happened to meet him we used to have a class together. I forget exactly what it was. I want to say a sales class, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
And we would talk about finance. Like I never knew who the hell he was. And then we followed, and then we ended up exchanging personal Instagrams, and that's when he had, I think, Tom's Refurb on his caption.
Yeah.
I think. And I was like, holy shit, dude. I was like, all right, you have
crazy.
a crazy follower.
Yeah.
No, but super chill, dude. Smart,
Yeah.
super smart, hardworking. I don't know if you guys saw the episode with
Yeah,
me
I
and him.
did. Yeah,
He's
yeah.
so like smart for his age too, man. He's only
Yeah.
like 22, I think.
Yeah.
Super smart kid.
Yeah.
Oh my god. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah. Nah, that's super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like the guy that in my space that I like a lot is Patrick David.
Yeah.
Now I'm sorry, I keep doing that. I don't want
Nah,
to
I know that's like with the cup holder, like
Yeah.
I mean, or the thing. I don't know if you're
The
not-
coaster?
The other.
Oh, okay,
coaster is
that's what
kinda
that's for?
nice.
It's padded.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
padded, so it's,
that's smart. That's
Yeah.
smart. I'm learning a lot from you guys. But yeah, for me, it's Patrick David, right?
Yeah, yeah.
He is the owner of Valuetainment, but also the PBD podcast. His whole thing is he was born in Iran but made in America. I say, born in
Yeah.
Ecuador, made in America.
Yeah.
But he has a background some people are a little iffy about. So he owned. I don't know if I should say this. He owned PHP, which is People Helping People, which is a life insurance agency, and he had I want to say a 9-figure exit, and what's it called? And since then has just been fully focused on valuetainment and PVD podcasts. And and recently he became minority owner of the Yankees.
Wow.
Yeah. So he has it.
Wow.
And for me, when I saw him in person on my birthday, in Fort Lauderdale, I'm like, oh, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So so his team, his home team, what's it called? One of the guys, I was in the bathroom at the end of the podcast because that's when I went there for. It just so happened that they did a podcast live on my birthday. So I was
Crazy.
like, "There's no fucking way I'm missing this."
Happy birthday.
Right.
dude.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so happy birthday.
Right?
bro.
Yeah, hell yeah. It was March 8th, which is also International Women's Day.
Yeah.
What's it called? I can't wait, man. I can't even have a birthday. But literally flew out to Fort Lauderdale on March 7th, and what's it called? Prepped and everything. And the next day I went March 8th. It was like at 9 a.m. from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And that's when I got to see Chris Cuomo, Candace Owens, Patrick David, and along with his home team, which is Adam Sosnick, and a few of the other guys. Jesus, I'm drawing a blank here. Vince Olshana, and what they call the Biz Doc. I forget his full name too. Oops, sorry. It's the drinks. I'm gonna blame the drinks.
Pull up his, his
Yeah,
Instagram. Pull up his Instagram.
yeah. So I think if you go to my Instagram,
It's already up. It's already up.
Yeah, if you go to my Instagram, my personal one,
Oh yeah.
it's on one of the posts. If you pull and maybe let's see here.
Back up to
Sorry, I'd be
the top. I
posting
think it's
random
pinned.
stuff.
I think it's pinned up at the top.
No, it's
Is it
yeah.
not?
So yeah, if you want to click that, you can see it there.
Oh, that's the
Yeah.
couple hours ago.
Yeah.
So we just landed fresh out of Fort Lauderdale. We were just at PVD Podcast Live. Nice. He was hosting Candace Owens and Chris Cuomo along with the home team. Great banter. 3 hours long.
Candace Owens and Chris Cuomo.
Yeah.
That's spicy.
Yeah.
Being around people that had that similar interest. So it was a great
Yeah.
Thank you, PVD.
So funny story about that I didn't mention on the podcast was that Vince Olshana, the guy that was in the black vest and white button up, I was in the bathroom, right? And all of a sudden I hear his voice. I'm like, is that fucking Vinny? He was
know
in one
that
of
voice.
I was like, that
Yeah.
voice sounds like extremely familiar. And I'm on the stall, pissing, and now I hear something. What the fuck? So he gets out of the bathroom. I'm like, Vinny. Vinny. I'm like, can we get a picture? And he was like, yeah, let's do it right now. Let's do it. I'm like, no, well, let me finish first.
It might be a bad picture.
Let me finish. let me finish first, and then we'll take a picture. He's like, no, let's do it right now. So he literally grabs a stranger, right? He grabs a stranger. He's like, hey, you mind taking a picture of us? He's like, yeah, no, not at all. So he literally, there's this picture of. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah,
real
here,
quick.
scroll through his.
No, it's not on Instagram.
Oh,
no,
okay.
because it's like maybe
It's,
maybe I
maybe-
shouldn't post this
yeah,
type of thing. But yeah, hold on, I'll pull it up right now. And he literally got the guy to take a picture of me and him while we're literally while I'm in the bathroom stall. Hold on, let me see. It's somewhere here.
That's an iconic picture.
Oh my god, dude, it was so funny.
Yeah,
I don't know why I'm not seeing it. Jeez, don't tell me I deleted it. Should have been right here. Sorry guys, I don't mean to hold
Nah,
it
that's
up
okay.
here.
Nah, I mean
Give me
this
one.
podcast is full of dead air, and it's this happens actually more times to Adrian and I than not. I mean, last time like this happened, we called a pee break just because we're trying to build a car on the podcast.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so
No, not
we just,
physically.
Okay.
Oh
I was
yeah,
like-
that would have been a fun
Configure one
podcast.
That's-
on,
yeah. Yeah, we were like building a Jeep on the website. Like you got to go.
Oh,
to Jeep,
right,
and we're,
right,
like,
right,
we're
right.
trying to like build it versus a Bronco.
Yeah,
Or no,
yeah,
actually,
yeah,
it
yeah.
might have been we
No,
built a
I was-
Tesla,
I
and
was
you were trying to
looking-
build the.
was it the Porsche? It was
yeah,
the Porsche.
and
Yeah,
then
the
you were trying to
Porsche
build a
Taycan
Porsche
and the
Taycan,
No, here it is.
Tesla.
Yeah.
So literally, kid you not, this is. I'm right
Yeah,
there in
I'll
the
keep it
stall.
off the pod if you don't
No,
want.
that's
You
all
want
right.
it on
That's
the
all
pod?
right. You know,
You're trying to say,
it was right there. in
That's
the-
so funny,
yeah.
dude.
So and then obviously we took the ones outside. But yeah, man, it's so for me that was my what's it called, my moment of seeing like Patrick Bet-David and everything.
Yeah.
I did
And, like,
it.
a
I
very
bought
humanistic reaction.
yeah,
too.
yeah.
with
So I was
that.
like, oh, this is so cool. But I only bought the general admission ticket, which is $100. The VIP one is $500, but you get to go back into the cigar lounge and hang out with them and everything. So
Wow.
the moment I get a chance, I'm gonna buy that ticket again and buy that ticket and then hang out with them.
Yeah, sure.
And see if I could pick their brains.
Yeah.
But it's like that. It's that proximity principle. The more you're around people in that space, the more you're gonna
Right. The
kinda thing.
33%.
Right.
33.3.
And, you pick up things
Yeah,
off of them, and it helps
absolutely.
you out in your own
Yeah.
goals.
Yeah, and it expands your horizon in a way because you see how they're doing it, right?
Right.
The setup they got, the things they got going on, and all that
Yeah.
stuff. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Like what I liked about them was in their setup was that one, it's professional as fuck, and
Right.
two is they had like a bar. They had like a whole bar area where people could get drinks and all that stuff, as well as the cigar lounge. I think that's freaking
Yeah.
awesome. I like cigars.
Yeah, me too.
I literally just smoked one last night.
Yeah.
It was what was the one popular brand cigars? It's Cohiba. Yeah, Cohiba.
Okay.
So Cohiba is like this blue labeled one. I forget the exact. It was Churchill Cohiba blue label.
Yeah,
And
the
I
perfect
like
cut.
that with a Glenlivet 12 on a snifter. Right here I go again. Sound like a fucking alcoholic. But dude, I kid you not. Everybody's like having a conversation. I'm just like this. It felt so fucking good.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. No.
Yeah.
But it was like, it's just, I love that. And I like a cigar, I like a good drink, and I like a good conversation.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
me as EP podcast is now, I'm like, okay, we can make something like this.
Yeah.
Right. But in Delaware.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So
Right.
that it expands your horizon. when,
Right.
the more. So I don't know. I don't know when you guys love cars, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if when you guys meet Thomas, you guys have a conversation or hear something from him, or you got that. Oh
Exactly.
shit! All right, hey, we
Yeah.
like that. We might want to do that too, type of thing.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
and it's so cool seeing that, and,
Yeah.
especially firsthand. But yeah, I love being around people that mirror a lot of things I want to do. It inspires me a lot. But
Yeah, like you
Yeah.
were saying, you find the people who are like mentors to you, who are where you want to be, and if you want to be there, they have it. They have the path mapped out.
Yeah.
They've already figured out what you need to do to get
Yeah.
there. So if you
Yeah.
can pick their brain, then
Yeah, like I'll use a
Yeah.
real life example right now with the 33.3% rule. PVD podcast is in the mentor 33.3%. Like you guys were in the same level, like 33.3%. We're both we both have a podcast. We're
Yeah.
both in our early stages,
Yeah.
and we're trying to grow it to whatever it'll grow. Right.
Yeah.
And then I've had people approach me to consult them in starting a podcast.
Yeah.
So it kind of just happens by nature, right? But it's the
Yeah.
fact that you have that system in place that lets you know, okay, what kind of
Yeah.
relationships do I have in this space,
Yeah.
right? And where am I lacking, and where can I improve?
Yeah.
Type of stuff like that.
okay. So I need to find
Yeah,
more
100%.
filthy rich people.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do think that you even touched on this when you said the people who are wealthy and very successful, they're not happy, and there's the common sentiment of money can't buy happiness. I think the people who say money can't buy happiness have never been dirt poor,
Yeah.
because
Well, I
understand
to piggyback onto
it-
that.
it's-
Anybody who has money is not giving it away.
No.
no one goes from being rich to going to broke. Like no one does that.
not
So-
voluntarily.
You're right. Yeah.
Well, no, there was that one guy you showed me on Instagram who was rich, gave everything away, lives homeless, but has that one Mercedes.
Oh, yeah.
He might be the
I'm gonna
exception
give.
that proves
I'm gonna
the
give
rule.
a quick shout out because that is actually a really cool documentary. Can you look up Documentary Forever? I think that's what it's called.
We looked this up
Just
on the
go to
podcast
YouTube.
before, but
Yeah,
we
but just do me a favor. We're on it. Just
struggled
go
to
to
find it.
Nah,
in,
it should be on YouTube. Documentary Forever. Yeah, so this guy does this documentary, and I think it's like Sacramento, California,
Okay.
and just the homeless population there.
Oh,
yes. Yeah, so Documentary Forever. So
No, see,
it's
we
gonna
did this
be-
before
yeah,
on the podcast.
It's
Gone.
but so no, just go to his channel. Go.
This
back
is
up,
his channel.
Yeah, that
back
is his
up,
channel.
Hit more. There's probably if what was it like? Not like
No,
there's-
this is.
Yeah,
this
that's
is
all of
this
his
is
videos.
all it is. We went through this before.
I watched this from something.
So
okay,
what-
so then go to Instagram, go to documentary forever. 'cause
That's
how,
where a lot of it was.
Well, that's how I found the link. I mean, they have like a 30-minute anyway. I'll just documentary forever. Go look them up, whatever. But they did a documentary in Sacramento, California, and just about like the homeless population that they have there. It's up there.
Yeah. I see it.
But they they did
Did they like purge their page?
they did a really good job. No, they just there's only a few. You
Oh,
can do
the Admiral. That was the guy.
Yeah.
That's the guy I'm specifically talking about.
It's in the audio.
And I just found out my great-grandmother.
Yeah, so this guy was like,
Explains a lot. That explains.
he was like a millionaire, and just one day stumbled out. Somebody offered him like heroin or like meth, and just never went back. He kept his car.
That's like
He
the
has
only vest like left over of his wealth.
$140,000 car.
Dang.
But he lives homeless, like in a tent or in a tent
Yeah.
city and all that.
Guess what that was like? I had a Trans Am, pocket full of Quaaludes, and a big bag of Coke.
And you know what? I would say that guy is happy.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
which I think was Adrian's point, which is
Oh,
like
he has
where,
the
like,
Rolex Submariner. I see that.
yeah, where you're like you see, you know,
What I want
happiness.
to kind of expound upon with what I
Sure.
said about that was there are two extremes. So if you are dirt poor, money can very much buy happiness. It takes a lot of the stress off of your shoulders, and that right there contributes massively to happiness. If you are extremely wealthy and you have everything and you're still not happy, money's not going to fix that. So I get there's a massive divide here. When depending on your financial situation, money can't buy happiness. Can have a very different meaning for you if you are poor versus if you are rich.
Yeah.
If you're poor, you look at that and go, "Are you fucking nuts?"
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that would solve all of my problems. I
Yeah.
would be so happy. And
Yeah.
having grown up, I wouldn't say I grew up poor, but growing up without being obviously wealthy, money very much would fix a lot of my problems.
Absolutely.
And give me a lot of time
Yeah.
to dedicate to my hobbies. And I would be very happy because I've gone, having to have worked full-time jobs, seeing my parents work full-time jobs. I have a very good grasp on like what a work-life balance could look like, should look like. My scales and when it comes to balance very much tips towards too much work because I'm not rich, I'm not wealthy, so I have to work to get by.
Yeah.
And I have a bunch of hobbies, too many hobbies actually, that I would love to dedicate time to that I just don't have, and dedicate money to that I don't have.
Yeah. Yeah.
So obviously having more money would tip those balances in my favor.
Yeah.
But then if like you had said, you talk to wealthy people and you ask them, "Are you happy?" And they go, "No."
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it's like because it's not wealth, it's fuck you money. You need like that like the just this like crazy exponential thing that like just elevates you away from having to like answer to anybody, to have like a normal job.
But I think you need
So,
to come from being poor to be able to appreciate that. If you were like a trust fund baby,
I think like
You're
Chris
kinda-
Chris Pratt's that one person who just doesn't
That name sounds
defy
familiar,
that.
Chris Pratt.
Yeah,
What
so he
was
was
he?
like he was all
he's
the
an actor.
The actor of Guardians of the
Yeah.
Galaxy, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Guardians of the
Yeah.
Galaxy. Yeah. So like, I mean, like, there's a few people that obviously always defy like the odds.
Well, the exception
what I
that
mean?
proves the
the
rule.
exception that proves the rule. Yeah. But,
Well, I think one, money is. I mean, happiness is subjective, and two, whatever your definition of happiness is evolves over time.
yeah.
So I think it's having that understanding of what that means to you in whatever season of life you're in
Yeah.
is crucial to get us close to whatever that is for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you're I'm not a father, but I imagine that when you're a father, your definition of happiness is your house is financially good, your relationship with your wife is good, your relationship with your kids is great,
Your family
and stuff
is
like that.
stable,
taken
taken care of.
Yeah, you have a good job or whatever the
Yeah.
case it is for you, and as a result of that, you're happy, right? Assuming that you're also taking good care of yourself and stuff like that. Same thing. There's something I like by Alex Hormozy. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Alex Hormozy. He is this entrepreneur. He started his entrepreneurial life during a thing called gym launch. What he would do is he would go into these gyms and he would, I don't know if the right word is promise, but his offer was that, hey, I will help you launch your gym and have you at 100% capacity, and you don't have to pay me for it. You only have to give me what's it called, a split of the profits, or whatever the case is, or like a small share of it. And he launched that, and then he sold Gym Launch for. He had a 9-figure exit with Gym Launch, and
I
once,
guess for people who don't know what a 9-figure exit is, that's what is commonly called a golden parachute.
okay, I never heard of that golden parachute.
never heard that term?
No, I've never heard of that term.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, yeah.
Is that what that is?
Yes, that pretty much it's fuck you money. That's what I
Okay.
was kind of was getting
It's-
to. Is
you know,
that
you
like
get these CEOs and these like big corporations who, I guess the stereotype is they come in, they'll gut a company,
Yeah.
boost the numbers short term,
Uh-huh.
and then bail
Yeah.
before like it goes bad. But they have like I guess a severance package
Uh-huh.
where they'll get like a massive bonus and sometimes 9
Yeah, yeah,
figures.
yeah.
And of course,
Yeah.
the average employee who like just gets fired with no notice, it's like, what the fuck?
yeah. So if the company's
they
a
call it a
plane, there's
golden
this-
parachute.
Yeah, the
Okay.
company's a plane. There's this one guy who
Yeah.
gets that golden parachute
go.
who
I
like
learned
who
another-
got out and got fucking everything.
I learned another term. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Shit, I forgot where I was going with that. Hold on. So yeah, no, Alex Ramosi, I like him because
Yeah.
he's so fuck. What were we talking about?
I don't know. I have to pee, so
Yeah.
It might actually be a good break. Yeah,
we'll
I'll
take
be
a break.
break.
You try to remember that.
Yeah.
So you were just talking about how Kirkland vodka is like way higher quality than its price tag.
Yeah,
Because
dude.
it's sold through,
a liter of the American. So there's two Kirkland vodkas. There's the American one, which is the one that you guys had, and then there's a French one. The French one is a larger bottle, but it's
Yeah.
thinner, so it looks bigger, but it's not. I like the American one, and it's only $13.
That's fucking cheap.
That's so crazy.
Well, in
$13.
Delaware, right?
Yeah, in Delaware. Yeah.
There's a big
Just let me know. Anytime I come over, I could just bring you guys a bottle.
yeah,
You
give
guys
us
want
some that good Kirkland stuff.
it. I'll be your, I'll be your vodka plug.
But what I think is happening is so like as car people, I especially when I was younger and had my first car and I wanted to like take perfect care of it. Castrol Syntec, which is their synthetic oil, was like $5 cheaper per quart at Walmart than it was anywhere else.
Yeah.
And Kirkland you get from Costco, which is a big chain, similar to Costco, similar to Wawa,
Yeah.
Walmart.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
But what I had learned, I was worried at first. Was like, okay, well, is this like the shit that didn't pass quality control? Is it the shit that fell on the floor and they just scooped it into a bottle?
Yeah.
But what it was is because Walmart's such a big chain, they can order in massive bulk,
Absolutely,
and they
yeah.
get a massive discount.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Kirkland's getting their vodka from these more reputable
Yeah. So
vodka producers.
Costco makes their money off the membership.
Yes.
That's what it is. And they try to lower their prices as low as possible so they could get you in there. But they make their money off their membership. But you also got to think about it. Like when you have Costco, you just don't have the Costco products. You also have the Costco gas.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're not only becoming your alcohol supplier, but they're also becoming your food supplier, your gas supplier.
It's kind of double dipping, but
Yeah.
without really ripping you
Right,
off.
right, yeah. So it's like Tesla. When you're buying Tesla, you're not just buying a Tesla car. You're also getting into the electric vehicle charging, the solar,
Yeah,
all
you're-
that stuff
you're
like
And
that.
thank
Yeah,
you for bringing that up as
Yeah.
a non
Yeah.
supercar person
Yeah.
because a lot of people hate Tesla, but if I was to buy an electric car right now, it would be a Tesla, mostly for that supercharger network.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Like you guys were talking about building a Jeep earlier, right?
Yeah.
Which is funny because when I first ever started, what's it called, building a vision board, right? My
Yeah.
first dream car ever was a Jeep Wrangler Unlimited, blacked out. What's it called? That was my first dream car ever. And then after that, it became a G-Wagon,
Yeah,
right?
there you go.
G-Wagons
A
are
G-Wagon, decked out, all that stuff like that.
They're
fully
way
blacked
too
out.
expensive for what they are, but
Yeah.
they are so cool.
Yeah. And then after that, it became a Tesla Model 3, blacked out everything.
Yeah.
And then after that, it became a Toyota Camry of the year.
I mean, didn't you drive a black Cadillac up here?
I did. I did. Well, I just think this is something, I don't know. I like it clean. I like a clean look.
Yeah.
I like clean. Like my Cadillac, has been through its stuff now. But what's it called? I like a clean looking car. But no, it reminded me of the Jeep Wrangler because it was my first dream car ever. And now I think over time it was just, I just wanted something more reliable.
Yeah.
Point A to point B. Like
Yeah.
what I tell people is like, specifically with me is I'm looking for more reliability more than luxury. And for the reason being, like if I'm away, right? Say I'm in Miami for a weekend,
Yeah.
right? Which I I don't typically do, because if you're in a relationship or talking to anybody, they're never gonna want you to go to Miami or something for a weekend.
Just for a weekend,
right. So, if I'm out there, and I want to experience luxury, I'll rent out a car. I'll rent out a car, and then I get that feeling right there. Boom, I experience what it's like, because these cars are so hard to so expensive to maintain and all that kind of stuff. So it's like,
Trust me, I own a BMW.
Yeah. Well, which one?
Oh, it's an old car.
Yeah.
I love old cars. Nothing new really interests me. There's very few new cars that I would ever own.
Yeah. But, have you seen Frank Ocean's Channel Orange? No, what's the one with the orange? Look up Frank Ocean. Oh, shit. I want to say called Channel Orange. Oh my god, I'm gonna be embarrassed if I mess
Is it on
this up.
YouTube or?
No, just look up Frank Ocean. Frank Ocean Channel Orange. Oh yeah, it is called Channel Orange. And then go to images.
Well, there's a lot of orange.
Well, look up
Maybe
right there.
Right there.
Yeah.
That is an E30.
Okay.
No, I have an E.
Actually, it almost.
No, that's an E30.
Okay.
That's totally an E30, and you cannot convince me otherwise.
I would almost, just because of the way the hood was shaped. It's only a portion of the car they were showing, and now the longer I look at it, I think it is smaller than that, but almost.
Well, look
had
up
that
Channel
5
Orange
Series
BMW.
look.
Frank Ocean's a big car guy, by the way.
Yeah,
That's an E30.
Fun fact.
Yep, that's an E30.
100% an E30.
Yeah.
No, I have an Oh, why am I blanking?
Yeah, it literally says E30.
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
an
yeah.
E24,
Okay, that's awesome.
which is a 6 Series. Yeah, one of these guys.
Let me just FaceTime Frank Ocean real quick.
Yeah. So when we were just talking about Costco and stuff, and how
what I was saying,
Costco-
what I wanted to get at was it's expensive to maintain. It always wants to break. It's broken right now. I'm trying to sell it to a friend who's going to use it, turn it into a race car. But
Cool.
yeah, no, I understand when you say you get a German luxury car.
Yeah.
You don't want to own a German
Yeah.
luxury car.
Yeah.
It's just it's not a motivation vehicle for me, no pun intended. But I know for some people it is. Especially for me, when I first, when I first reached a certain net worth, before I even did that, I always fantasized the idea of having a nice Rolex, a nice car, a luxurious house.
The status symbols.
Right. And then I realized that it was more about having the ability to attain those things,
Right.
more so than actually owning it,
Having 'em.
right?
Yeah.
And then ever since that hit me, it's just now a house is a little different. I always
That's
want
an investment.
Yeah.
That's worth
Yeah.
right,
equity.
right.
Yeah.
It's a little different because the nicer, bigger, whatever it is the more how I look at it is the more I could host a better family. I could better host my family, I could host my friends and stuff like that. So there's a little bit of selflessness to it, but it's just I don't know. It's luxury doesn't really drive me.
Right.
I get to experience those things from time to time. Like last year, so I hold an event every year. It's called the Summer Summit, and where I bring people together for workshops, lectures, and outings, and where we focus on those things: health, wealth, love, and happiness, and we contribute to each other. We learn lessons on it and talk to one another all about it, see how we can help each other.
Yeah.
Last year, I hosted it in Tampa, Florida, and where I rented out this I think it was a 10,000 square foot mansion.
Okay.
And it was this $4 million mansion in Tampa, and so I got to experience that, mansion. We had a private chauffeur, and picking you up in the big black Escalade,
Right,
opening the door for you, water bottle liner for you, all
Full
that
red
stuff.
carpet treatment.
Right,
Yeah.
right, and it's he gets your luggage just the moment you land and all that stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I experience it, but do I want to I would have to have what you called fuck you money,
Right.
For me to live that,
Right.
right, for me to live
Right.
that. But it's is it my motivation vehicle? No, not really, not really.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, exactly. Because I hear a lot of people who go so far, their goal is the yacht, right? They get the yacht and okay, cool. Now just keep the yacht,
Dude.
Now everything about my life is all I need to do is keep this.
That's one of the
fucking
things we did,
yacht.
by the way.
Yeah.
We had a dinner on a big ass yacht. I forget what the size of it was, and then a party on the top of the yacht.
That's
But it was
sick.
so cool.
I mean,
Yeah.
yacht parties are tough.
But fuck, I was going somewhere with that, but I don't know what it's. Hey, if you go to my Instagram, you can see the house.
Your personal or
My personal. Yeah, you're my personal. So if you scroll down a little bit more, episode right here. So this is when a Velo had just came to Delaware. So it was cool getting to experience the boarding.
Oh,
deck.
wait a minute. I'm sorry.
No,
but
no, you're fine. So this is
Is
when
that a 737 Max? I recognize that is a Boeing.
I can't or can't confirm or deny whatever it is. You know, that is. But yeah, we were out in Tampa. You know, I'm over there having a good ass time.
Yeah.
But yeah, see, that's
the
what
big
I'm
black
talking about.
Cadillac
Yeah.
Escalade, the mansion, the villa.
Yeah. You know, Oh yeah, that's one of the things we did. You know, we went to this restaurant. It's Cuban. I think it's Cuban, but they had like a flamingo party, like a flamingo dancers, right? You know, you're having dinner. They have the flamingo dancers and all that stuff, and it's great. You know, it's funny, and that's the view from the yacht. So you see that boat over there?
Yeah.
You know, we're going down
You're
there.
high above the water. This is a
So look, so this was my room, right? Every room had like a chalkboard thing. So we made it funny, and then we called it Marvin's room. I'm a Drake fan. So Marvin's room, you know, the
yes.
cups and the
Yeah,
rose,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
that
yeah,
song. So I
yeah.
called it that. But yeah, it's like, you know, but mind you, I got to experience it, but for me, what I gained most out of it was the fact that I got to experience it with people I wanted to be with, and I got to share those experiences. Because what
Yeah.
the hell is good to being at the top if you're by
It's
yourself?
lonely at the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the experience of being able to like, you know, come up and like come up with your friends, like bring
Yeah.
your friends with
Yeah,
you.
I mean, I know it's
as
kind of
you-
like
as you go.
almost a cringy stereotype at this point, but you know, like if I eat, everyone eats. Like there's
Yeah.
validity to that.
Yeah.
Like you know,
Yeah.
if I find success, I'm bringing my friends with me.
Yeah. I saw this one video. It's this guy. He was talking about money, and he said, the difference between a millionaire and a billionaire is that the millionaire, you know, makes himself rich. The billionaire makes other people rich.
Right.
So, and you think about that. I mean, you think about, like, you know, how many people has Jeff Bezos made rich? How many people have, you know, Bill Gates made rich? How many people has Elon Musk made rich?
Yeah.
And I think that's ingrained in, you know, how much value are you bringing to the marketplace? And that's what I put at the forefront. So when I put together these events, I try to put in as much value as possible. Every single person I have brought to these events, I've been doing it now for, this will be the third year, is, you know, every single person I've brought on to it, they told me they would have never realized how cheap it was. So I'll be honest with you, my summer summit last year was so I have a personal development company. It's called EPEX, and this is one of the events we hold every year, the summer summit. The ticket to that one was $1,500. Right,
Okay.
it was $1,500, but that was flight included, transportation included,
was gonna say, that's like a
food
first-class
included,
ticket by itself.
a mansion with pool and everything, you know, outings and stuff like that. All that was included for $1,500. And every single time, the response I've gotten is, I did not think it was going to be that cheap.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And this year we're doing it at the Claridge Hotel in Atlantic City.
Okay.
Right, which is a historic building. Fun fact, I didn't know this, is that Monopoly is based off Atlantic City.
No way.
Yeah, boardwalk,
What?
all that stuff like that.
Makes sense now that you pointed it out.
Yeah, holy shit.
Yeah, and we're gonna have it there, and they had one of the first rooftop places ever. So we're gonna have one of the staples in our summer summit is a cigar. So at the end of it, we all gather, have a cigar and all that stuff like that. But we're having, you know, private dinners, all that stuff like that, workshops, lectures.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have some speakers on there too, and it's just like, how do I package this so people feel like, one, it's a steal, but two, they really feel like they're getting a value, right? You never want to, and this is something I learned from Alex Hormozy, the guy I was talking about earlier, is you don't want to price yourself out of the competition, right? What you essentially want to do is you want to pack in as much value that justifies, not just justifies, but exceeds, you know, the price that you're charging. Right. So it's, how do I do that? Right. Because, you know, businesses, what they typically do is they're like, all right, we have 10% off, 20% off. Next thing you know, you're giving shit away for free.
Yeah.
Right, and you put yourself out of business.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's less so that, it's more so, how do I justify that? There's this video by Alex Hormozy called, I don't remember what it's called, but he has this book called $100 Million Offers, and he just recently came out with his other one that I'm currently reading called $100 Million Leads, and he was at a public speaking event, and he was saying so he had just came out with the book, right? The book is like $30 on Amazon, I think, and he was like, how many of you would pay $100, versus the 30 for me to give you this book and with a signed copy of this book, right? A couple of people are raising their hands. How many of you? First he said, how many of you will pay $100 for this? And then no one's raising their hand. But then he says that he said, how many of you will pay $10,000 for this? And what I'll do is I'll sit with you one-on-one for 1 hour and consult you on your business. We'll look at your business, see where it is I got to battle this up. How many of you will pay $10,000? And then he went all the way to $100,000, right?
Yeah.
And you would see that the crowd reaction was more and more people were raising their hand because he kept adding more and more value to it.
Yeah. And it doesn't cost him anything to add this value necessarily.
Because he already has it. He said, I think at the 100,000 mark, it was like he was adding his marketing team, all that stuff like that. It's like he was adding more and more and more, and you'd be you see the video of the crowd. It's more and more people are raising their hand.
Right.
He's doing more work, but he's getting $100,000 a pop.
For one client. And what I liked about him was that I've read his upbringing story, and at one point he had I forgot what it was. He had a thousand people paying him $40,000 a month for his consulting, and his father was literally asking him, is what you're doing legal? Like,
Right.
it's like, you good? Like, is this legit? And it's like, no, it was legit, and simply just because he was adding that value to all of them. So, what I was getting at with my initial point was that it's more so like, how do you add that value, right? Because a marketplace, you're not successful in the marketplace if you're not adding value, right? So yeah, that's my thing with that. And so when I look at the Summer Summit, that's what I keep at the forefront, right? So like, for example, when I bring in speakers beforehand, what I do is I ask members, because there's paid members in EPEX. I ask them, what are you having trouble with right now? What if this problem was taken care of for you? What problem would that be? Right? And then I focus on that, right? Like, what professional do I know that could solve this kind of problem? And then boom, I bring him in and they talk about it. Right? Because it's like, oh shit, like, I'm having this problem. Why the hell wouldn't I go?
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And so there's that in there too. And typically I only bring typically the first 2 years I only brought men to it. But for no particular reason.
Right.
It's just I want to start small. And then this year I'm opening it to, like, partners, spouses and all that stuff like that, just because, that goes back to our initial point of it's you become successful financially, but then you can't hold a conversation.
Yeah.
It's how do I become a more attractive individual to who? To my friends, to my family, to my wife, to my kids, all that stuff like that. Because you want to be the hero of your own story.
Right.
Right. And
you want to be the movie star.
You want to
Right.
be the main character.
Exactly.
There's
exactly.
a lot of NPCs.
Yeah.
But for you, and that's all it is.
Yeah.
And the reason why I started EPEX is because I one time was at a long work day, I think like a 12-hour day of work, and what's it called? And I wanted to run a couple miles that day, right? I wanted to get a couple miles in, and it was a long day. I was like, God, I don't want to do it, but I'm gonna do it anyways. And then 2 miles turned into a half marathon, right? How long have we been going?
2 hours.
Holy
I got it. Don't-
You guys can tell me to shut up whenever.
No.
No, you're good. You're good. No, that's cool because I've never recorded that. By the way, I
it's all
feel
good.
extremely comfortable with you guys. This has been amazing.
Yeah, what did you do?
Like
That's the vibe we try to.
I hope that after this, maybe one day we grab lunch, dinner, share a
yeah,
couple of drinks, somewhere casual.
absolutely, brother.
I'd be more than honored.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's it called? But no,
A couple miles.
yeah. So I was running. I was going to run a couple miles. I turned into a half marathon. Now, mind you, I was 22 or 23. I forget how old. I'm 27 now. But at the same time, because this was forever ago, I'm okay with sharing this. But it was my first time ever, like, so I ran that half marathon, but that was also my first year ever reaching an $100,000 net worth. And I had bought my first place, all that stuff like that, and I shared it with my friends. And it was, I gotta tell you, it was anticlimactic. To say the least, right? It's like, guys, like, I brought everybody together. I was like, guys, I ran a half marathon, right? Because anytime you do something, you want to share it with people,
Right?
You want to share the news, right?
Yeah,
You want to share the news, guys. I ran a half marathon, and I just reached I just for the first time reached my first 6-figure net worth, at 23, and everybody's like, huh? Right? It's like, I'm like, damn, all right, which is I get it, but it's like, how can I get that satisfaction I got in doing it, but how can I make someone else feel that way too?
Right.
And then that's how EPEX came about. Because every year I would, we would do like a guy's thing, like a guy's vacation or something like that. But, we're getting older, and I'm like, dude, I'm tired of going to these places and just blacking out and not coming back.
from
When
it at
people
all.
ask you, oh, how was this and the other, it's like, oh,
Well,
I don't remember half of it.
Yeah.
What I do when I'm
Yeah.
blackout drunk is none of my damn
Yeah,
business.
yeah. No, but and I was like, you know what? Let's flip it around. So in 2022, I booked this beach house for a week over in Lewis, and I was like, let's do this a little differently, right? Let's focus. Let's have our fun, but let's earn our fun a little
Right.
bit. Let's have a workshop. Let's talk about finances. Let's talk about let's do a workshop around that. Let's talk about goal planning and executing that, what that looks like, which is actually funny enough. In 2022, we mapped out 2023 Summer Summit, but no one knew that yet. And what's it called? And just all those things like that. So we got a beach house for a week and all that stuff, and then it's different because when you start, after you do all that work and hustle, and you go out with your friends, it's just like this level of confidence that you have. It's like, man, we just fucking killed it.
We did this.
We just killed it. And mind you, we were an hour away from the beach. Sorry, we were an hour away from the beach, or not an hour. I'm sorry, a mile away from the beach. So what we would do is we would wake up, we would go running, to the beach, and then back. And what we would run to the beach, chill out, get some good sun, and just soak it all in, and then we come back and we do business, and then by the end of it, we go out and have dinner together, and then go out and have leisure. And dude, confidence was shooting through the roof, right?
Yeah.
And because you go out. Let's say, look, let me put it to you this way: easiest icebreaker. You go out to a bar, whether say you're going to a Starboard or whatever the case, and Dewey and you all of a sudden meet this girl, right?
Yeah.
And, you guys are talking, getting to know each other. Like, oh, what do you do? What did you do today? It was like, the typical answer you get at these bars, especially during the summer, it's like, oh, well, last night, I got fucked up. I just woke up like a couple hours ago, type of thing. And whereas, after what we do is, you're like, oh, I was doing business earlier, we were doing workshops, focusing on this, that. Now all of a sudden you become more interesting to her. Like, I want to know more about this guy.
You're the coolest guy at the bar right now.
Yeah, it's like tell me more about yourself. And typically, with a lady, you want to let her more talk. Well, I'm not no dating expert at all.
Yeah.
But
You're not an alpha male?
Huh? No. I'm not no red pill, no alpha male, none of that stuff. I don't like any of that. It really makes me cringe. But it's like, it goes back to that question, how to become more of an interesting individual, to the people I want to attract. And it's just stuff like that. So that's how the summit came about. Because now that feeling I gave myself, now I'm giving to other people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and at the same time, you're talking about things that like genuinely help push your goals. It's not just a, it's not just a feel good session of like, oh
Right.
well, I did this and now I've met my goal and I'm happy.
Yeah.
It's like, no, how can we get to this
Yeah.
goal?
Yeah. And if you have a business, mind you, that's a write-off.
Yeah.
That's a write-off.
Yeah.
That's a write-off. Educational expense.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
what you call it. So there's that. No, it's it's just that's EPEX and the Summer Summit. I host it every year. This year will be August
Do you have a
23rd,
website or
25th.
something for that?
Yeah, if you go look up, go open a new tab, and look up Summer Summit 2024.
It's close enough, right? Yeah,
Summer
it's
Summit
fine. You're doing
2024, and then
Summer
look up.
Summit.
No, I'm
Jesus
sorry, I forgot
Christ.
to add the last part. And then after that, look up RSVP5. I don't know if you ever heard of RSVP5.
I don't.
No, don't
So
find
do that
access.
and then space, and do
Yo,
RSVP.
Google's always chirping on that.
And then
Always chirping on that
FY.
location.
So the
Chill.
first link it should be a
EPEX, got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So so you go scroll down.
Damn, this is official as fuck.
So you
If I
scroll
don't
down.
say so myself.
So it tells you right there what it is, all that stuff.
Personal and professional development is by EPEX. Yeah.
So and that's one of our workshops we had earlier this year, cash flow mastery workshop, where we essentially do checks and balances of your finances and help you improve on that. So that's the agenda right there. Just a very brief overview of it. And then you go and you scroll down, you see all the, why attend, who is it for, all that kind of stuff. And that's what the rooftop looks like, the view rooftop hotel. At the Claridge.
By the way.
At the Claridge, then you got the pool down there too. It's a nice spot, and I've been working on this since January.
That's gonna be Atlantic City.
Yeah, it's gonna be Atlantic City, August 23rd to the 25th. But yeah, that's EPEX, and that's our flagship event, the Summer Summit.
That's amazing,
It's
dude.
our Super Bowl of events. We also
Yeah,
hold
yeah.
our different events around the year. Like earlier, we did the Cash Flow Mastery one. We also do like the runs, like the half marathon I did. That's part of EPEX. It was a curated event. We hold two types of events: curated and
So that
official
wasn't
events.
like you're a sponsor. That's like an event you guys were curating.
Yeah, so we hold two types of events. One is an official one. The other one is a curated one. An official one is we work on it from beginning to end. Right.
Okay.
A curated one is we find something that's already existing but aligns very much with our mission and values. So we essentially, not to say wholesale, but wholesale it, and we add value to it. Like for example, like if you sign up through our epex.com, so look up epex.com. Official epex.com.
Make sure it's actually registering.
No. So it's a link. So just all together. Yep.
Yeah, our damn keyboard. We're
No, you're
sorry.
I gotta like.
We're you know what?
Jesus Christ.
By the end of today, I'll have ordered a new keyboard. This is so bad. I'm so sorry.
Are you able to do the link?
Hang on. Let me just make sure every single keystroke actually registers.
That's so funny.
Official
yeah,
EPEX?
I can't see it.
Yeah,
Official
.com. Yeah, there it is. That's it. Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
that's our members only website. And in that website, what you can see is you get news that all the news that are going on in today's world, or like whatever's trending, and then in there you're able to see all the events we hold throughout the year that you're able to register for and everything. And there's a social aspect to it. You could add members. You could even block them if you don't like them. But there's also the profile where you're able to see the events you signed up for, the events you've run in the past, and when you sign up for these events, people are able to see who signed up for it.
This is
So
just
that-
all for like networking and
yeah. So this is
information
Yep.
exchange.
So this is like a member exclusive feature that they have. So that's what it is. And the reason why there's a hazard there is the theme this year is the year of chaos. So it's how do we best prepare for this chaos?
That checks out.
Yeah. So how do we best prepare for this chaos? And physically is running these events, like literally the running events. Financially it's the workshops. Love. We work on our relationships and happiness. We have leisure time too. So
Right.
that's what we do at EPEX.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah,
amazing,
that's on the
dude.
side.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys ever want to come out to any of our events, please
Yeah,
do. Please do.
I'm
Or anyone
honestly
you guys
like
may know.
I'm very interested.
Please,
But I mean, so I also wanted to ask you, like, the podcast as a guest. I mean, we kind of want to know more about you.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're very smart and intelligent. We've gotten a lot of that.
Thank
You're
you.
definitely a lot
Just give me a
farther
couple
along
more. I'll
than-
be the complete opposite.
Well,
even
if I
so,
could,
you're probably still like well ahead of us financially.
Yeah,
like,
well,
when it comes to
I mean,
financial literacy,
but-
specifically.
I'm just a student of life.
Yeah.
I'm just a student of life.
Yeah. So what was I guess like your a little bit of background as far as like going to school,
Oh,
getting
what are we,
jobs.
2.5 hours in?
Yeah, I was
In
gonna
the
say we're having
Yeah,
dessert
I mean,
first.
Well, I know we definitely had dessert
No,
first.
it's great.
But,
No, I love
but
it.
I did want to make sure that I just got to kind of know a little bit more about
Yeah,
you, people that
yeah.
are watching the podcast.
Yeah,
and are
so I'll take it from the top. My name is Emilio Pastor. I was born in March 8th, 1997. I was born in Guayaquil, Ecuador. I came to the country when I was 8 years old in pursuit of the quote-unquote American dream, which at the time meant to me, a house, the picket fence, a white picket fence,
White picket fence.
and the dog, the family, all that stuff
1.7
like
children.
that.
1.7 children.
Huh? Yeah, and you know, doing that, and you know, I lived in Delaware, I lived in New York. Mom and dad split. You know, they struggled financially a lot, but you know, I learned a lot from it, and you know, I've gone to Delaware Tech for education. I've gone to Delaware Technical Community College where I did general business and business management, and I go to University of Delaware where I'm currently doing accounting, economics, and entrepreneurship. So you know, and I am the host and founder of EP Podcast as well as EPEX. EPEX is a personal development company, and I'm also a real estate investor. I buy properties, multifamily property, and my focus is turnkey multifamily properties, and I think that's it. Yeah, I think I think that's it.
So to just touch on the things that I'm the most interested in, you're in college.
Yeah. I'm like what they call a super senior.
Super senior.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're in college.
Yeah.
You mentioned before, you know, we're looking at six figures.
Yeah, and I
as
work in
far
finance
as-
during the day. Sorry, I forgot about that.
So that's what I was going to say. So, I mean, you know, you had just mentioned that the six-figure mark was a success for you,
What are your,
which
like,
also,
original
it also,
goals?
like, again, just to, you know, reiterate,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Yeah, I remember.
You know what
Thank you.
mean? Yeah.
I
so-
took a selfie of myself when I first did it,
Yeah.
and like with one of my. I forget what the camera is what's the one famous camera company?
The flip camera?
No, the SN90 or
Damn, you're getting real technical
No,
there.
you're about to say a
SN
fucking
Was it
Mustang.
I was about to say-
Nikon?
I was about to say
Nikon?
Mustang,
Nikon?
but
Is that
no,
what it
what
is?
It's the Sony SN9000.
It's like a very cheap
okay.
film camera.
Yeah, I
It's
thought it
like-
was like the Flip HD or
I
something.
don't know what it is, but you
Well,
know,
yes,
the
yeah.
reason why I did it is so I took a selfie and I took a picture with me in a Macallan 12.
Okay.
Right. And
Yeah,
the reason because the
yeah.
Macallan 12 symbolized a story behind it, but yeah, the six-figure mark was one of my milestones. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So,
So, but now, I guess I want to reiterate that you're in college, and that I would have to guess that there's not a lot of people who are in college and can say the same.
That weren't like trust fund babies.
And
Yeah.
but obviously
Yeah.
those aren't there. Yeah, but yes, as you
yeah,
say.
yeah.
So, I mean, that alone is one of the greatest feats that you can do in America. So, especially considering your upbringing and like, I mean, what do you attribute it all? And like, what kind of advice would you give to somebody else who's getting into college?
Well, or
Because-
looking to get to six figures.
Well, I
Well,
can't
sure,
tell you.
but
I can't tell you the recipe to college because I haven't done that yet. But I haven't fully finished it yet. But
Sure.
there is no recipe. There is no formula. There's just showing up and doing it longer than anybody else if you have competition. If you don't have competition, it's just doing as long as you need to so you can get what you want out of it. There really is nothing else. The reason I got financially smarter is because, you know, I grew up, you know, in a third world country where, you know, AC was a luxury, hot water is a luxury, and stuff like that. And you know, and I don't know this for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if my mom and dad sacrificed a meal just so I could eat. And it was just in that. I very specifically have a memory of back in. This is what the comment I made earlier, that I didn't realize the effects that 2008 had on the household.
Right.
Where my dad works in the asbestos field.
Wow.
And-
Asbestos.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and my dad would always wake up at 5 a.m. and then get back home at 5 o'clock. Right. So a full 12-hour day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't be weekends, but 5 days a week, and which is still majority of the week. And you know, I remember him. We were in upstate Manhattan, where it's heavily populated by the Hispanic community, and we would share a one-bedroom place, a one-bedroom apartment. Well, it wasn't an apartment; it was an apartment. And we shared one of the bedrooms. Me, my mom, my dad, and myself, along with this other lady, which is funny because she was pregnant at the time, and she had this something called Inglés sin barreras, which is English without barriers. It was this program thing where you would buy like a bunch of fucking DVDs so you could learn English.
Yeah,
So she would
yeah.
just have them like spread out all over the wall because there were so
Yeah.
many freaking DVDs. But I remember
Rosetta Stone.
yeah. And I remember my dad one time showed up to the house, the room, and you know, my mom wanted to get food for groceries, and my dad essentially what he did was he took out his wallet from his back pocket, flipped it upside down, only for, you know, a couple coins to come out. And then I didn't realize at the time, looking back at it now, is I realized, you know, at the time it was also like, you know, like
That's a
things,
scenario.
the crises were happening, and you know, I saw how that affected my family financial. I realized that, you know, we weren't making the savviest financial decision. And then fast forward, you know, after my mom and dad split, I think it was for the best of the relationship. They still talk. They're still like, I would call them friends.
Yeah. Which is beautiful.
Yeah, and I remember specifically, you know, I was starting to, you know, become more financially. I was working on myself financially, trying to become smarter at that, and what's it called? I felt that my dad, to some extent, was holding me back. So I realized I had to choose my pain, right? And meaning that, you know, I essentially gave my dad an ultimatum. I said, either I leave the house or you let me control the finances, right? Because, you know, I love my dad. He's the best dad I could ever ask for.
Yeah.
Very cool
What
person.
age is this?
Huh?
What age?
I've been managing the finances of the household since 2019, so 5 years ago.
Okay.
This was just 5 years ago.
Okay.
And
how old are you at the time?
I'm 27 now. 5 years ago, I was
22.
22.
22. Okay.
Holy
Yeah.
shit, was it? Is that accurate? No, 2018 or 20. Well, anyway, I was early 20s.
Yeah.
Early
yeah,
20s,
yeah.
and you know, and then I saw my dad break down, right?
Yeah.
Because you know, I walked in one of the, you know, I built some sort of anxiety every time I went to John Dickinson High School, and every time I would come back home, I would get a little bit anxious about an eviction notice being at the door, because that was like a regular thing, you know, with court dates and all that shit. And one time I walked, I you know, the bus dropped me off, and I walked up to my apartment door over in Pike Creek by Limestone Road and Kirkwood Highway, and there was an eviction door. But not only that, the moment I walked in, I couldn't turn on any lights. It's because the bills weren't paid, right?
Yeah.
So, and then for me, I was already having a day as it is, you know, being a high school student.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, and I was like, all right, enough is enough.
Yeah.
Because I feel like while we're on the same roof, we're living two complete opposite different worlds, right? So I was like, either I leave or you let me manage the finances.
Yeah.
And my dad broke down. So imagine seeing your dad break down, you know, as, you know, an early 20s, you know, boy, you know, how I don't know what the word for it is.
Traumatic.
But
Traumatic. I don't know if- yeah, I don't know if traumatic.
impactful.
So, yeah, so it's
Yeah,
like, you know,
to
how
see a
how like
a vulnerable.
and I, you know, I couldn't. I immediately felt the need to know I'm not gonna break down, right? I'm not gonna break down. You know, it's like it was him essentially like giving me the reins,
letting go.
Yeah, and you know, ever since, you know, I remember in just the first year alone, you know, my dad didn't have a car because my dumbass had crashed it.
Could have happened to anyone.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a flawless
Yeah.
transition.
Yeah.
But
So yeah, no, I've never been perfect. I will never say I am.
Yeah.
What's it called? And I remember like
successful and humble.
and I remember I started taking over the finances, and you know, just a year in, my dad walks into the house with plates sitting on the island and keys, because you know, I had picked him up a new car, so I was able to buy my dad a car. And at the same time, because I was managing all the finances, he for once had like savings. You know, he was managing his savings. We had like an emergency fund and all that stuff like that. And then next thing you know, like, not 2020 hits, and during a pandemic, I'm buying my first property ever. You know, we're at the Christmas table. Well, I mean, we're at the table, we're at the dinner table during Christmas, and I show my dad, you know, the paperwork to, you know, close on the house, on our first property ever. It was a condo, and I'm like, you know, we're good. I'm telling him we're good. I'm essentially serving him papers, but like in a good way. You know, it's like Merry Christmas. But you know, and then we did that, and I kept on going. So, and then I was at the point where I was just sending my dad, you know, like, here, I booked you a place for a few days. Go enjoy yourself. Yeah. And then, you know, things like that. And then I took him to Costa Rica last year. So like the quality of life started improving, you know, because my dad let go, and in terms of that, and letting me manage the finances. And now my dad hasn't seen almost essentially that I know of a bill in like almost 5 years. right?
Wow.
Because I take care of all that for in the house, and I, and the thing I want to emphasize is I chose my pain, right?
Yeah.
There was two pains. Well, the first one being is do I want to leave my dad? The other one was, or do I want to choose the pain of going through the struggle with my dad?
Right.
Of assuming that responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like fixing.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, and
It was just still a huge decision at
early
20 years
20s.
old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is crazy.
And at the same time, I'm going to college,
Right.
paying for everything,
Yeah.
not literally
Your
cash,
mind's a
but paying
cluster.
everything outright.
Yeah. You're also 20.
Yeah, and just gradually improving on that, and just like not even 2 years later, like a year and a half later, I'm buying a duplex. So it's just and it just went up from there, and it's just there is no to your original question. There is, I mean, or whatever. There is no recipe. There is no formula. There's just like, I try to think into the future. It's like, what do I want to see when I come home, right? And one of the biggest, and I've been, there's been some challenges in the household recently, and the thing, this is image that I've had stuck in my head for the last year. It's when I come home, the thing I want to see after a long day is my wife, my kids, and my parents playing with the kids. That's what I want to see, right? I just envisioned that. It wasn't even like I sat down and I thought about what I want to
But
see. It's
you
just
kind of realized
it just
that's what you want
yeah,
to see.
right? Yeah, and it's just like, and that's literally all the motivation I need. It's just picking the pain, right? What pain do you want to endure?
But what pain do you go through to get you to that end goal?
Right. So yeah, like there's nothing special about me. I don't have a magic recipe or anything like that. It's just I chose the harder route, and I always try to. I'm not perfect. I would say that if I were to give you guys a flaw, so you guys are not just hearing like all these good things, I probably lack in the love department. What's it called? And it's just I always chose the harder route, and typically it's because the harder route has the better payouts.
Yeah, more risk, more reward.
Yeah. So, and which is why I also start things like EPEX and things like the podcast, because I'm willing to choose the harder things to do.
Yeah, and see, and I'll stop you there because you're saying that like you're not good at love, but man, like it sounds like this was a story about love.
It sounds
this was
like an
like
all family
compassion.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is an all compassion thing.
Yeah. Where I lack is so when I talk about the health, wealth, love, and happiness, love I break it down to friends, family, and romantic relationships. Particularly, I mean, I'll put it out there. I don't care. It's romantic relationships.
Okay,
Is
sure.
that forever aspect?
Yeah,
right.
Sure. Yeah.
So yeah, that's specifically what I'm talking about. But
Yeah.
I've met some amazing women in my life. Some big lessons. And it's something I'm figuring out.
Yeah.
Something I'm figuring out.
Yeah. Not easy to come by. You got to pee?
Yeah, I got
All right, take a pee break. Because you got like three guys like kind of dipping into it. We're taking like little smidge glasses at a time, and it's like it's not bad. But but then you look at it and you're like, oh crap,
Where'd it go?
Yeah, holy shit. But,
I used to be.
But yeah, but we've been sitting down here for forever, dude.
Yeah,
So,
I remember
like,
when I was in high school,
Yeah.
I would take like a couple sips and I would get fucked up.
Yeah,
Now it's
yeah.
different.
Yeah,
That was
exactly.
different.
I used to
Yeah,
tell people like
and-
I love being lightweight. I go to a bar, I spend no money.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say I miss being a cheap date.
Yeah. Yeah. So
That was expensive, dude. I can't hang out in cities. Every time I go to last time I was in Philadelphia, I have to limit myself with Philadelphia like to no more than once a month.
Oh yeah.
Because every time I go there, I spend way too fucking much.
I know.
Literally, last weekend I was not last weekend, but last time I was there a couple weekends ago, I fucking blew through like $700.
Yeah.
in like 2 days.
Yeah.
in 2 days.
Yeah.
and I was like, fuck me. It was literally one time. So, one time I went to one of the nightclubs I end up from time to time with my friends as Voyeur. It's in the what's it called? The Gayborhood is what they call it. But it's a really great time.
Yeah,
by the way.
Honestly,
is.
it's like
It's-
the nicest place in Philly.
It's
the best.
3
It's the
floors
best.
of
We're off
fun.
South
It's,
Street.
it's 3
Yeah.
floors of fun. It's what it is, but it's expensive.
Yes.
Like you're getting charged $40 up front, and then the drinks are
Yeah.
like I'm a vodka soda guy.
Yeah.
Look, when I go to Trolley Tap House, Shout out Tap House. What's it called? Their vodka sodas cost me no more than $4, right? $4 or $5. And at a place like Warrior, I'm spending like $17. You know, almost freaking 10 times the cost.
Yeah.
Not 10 times. I'm sorry. Excuse my
But
math.
but metaphorically speaking, it's true.
Yeah. Here's another thing. I'm terrible at math, but I'm good at finance. I'm good at finance. Ironically enough. But no, it's like I can't do it. Like what? So right next to Warrior, when you walk around the corner, this is pizza shop, right? This is pizza shop that sells slices, right? My dumbass one weekend ended up spending $200 on pizza.
Jesus.
I bought 2 boxes, and then I ended up spending $200 fucking dollars on
Please
pizza.
tell me it's not $100 a box.
I don't. Well, I couldn't tell you.
Well, yeah.
I couldn't tell you.
What you do when you're blackout drunk is none of your damn business.
All I see is $299 charges on my bank statement. You know, at the pizza spot. I'm like, man, I fucking hate.
There's a bar in Westchester called Jake's Bar. They are famous for having $1 beers.
Ooh. I'm not a beer drinker, but I can see that being enticing.
Oh yeah, like when you're broke, like just
Although I drank a beer.
When you're broke, like it's the cheapest way
Oh,
to
for
get
sure.
drunk. But right next door to them is a pizza shop. And I think the guy who owns Jake Bar also owns that pizza shop.
And
they're
double
not,
whammy.
Yeah, they're not expensive because it's a college town. College kids generally aren't the wealthiest demographic, unless trust fund babies.
Right.
But like I've spent way too much time there.
Yeah, for sure. I've here's a fun drunk story. When I turned 23, I was at a Main Street in Delaware, and I got what is now coined as helicopter drunk. Helicopter drunk. And I'll tell you why. So the night before my birthday, March 7th of when I was turning 23, what's it called? We went to this place called Gelato, something like that. What the fuck it's called? I forget what it's called. I don't know. I think it's called Gelato, right? It's like this Italian restaurant, and we were just ripping shots, right? Ripping shots,
as you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're generally speaking, right? You're not talking about me specifically. Just wanted to clarify that. I
generally speaking.
I don't, as I do
shots,
normally. But we ended up at this other place up the street. I forget what the hell it's called, but they do bottomless mimosas on Sundays. On Sundays.
No.
I did that the next day.
Yeah.
But I was there, and I got flagged. Right, I was fucked up. I got flagged, and the next morning I wake up. And then I open my Google Chrome because that's what I use on my phone. Google Chrome, and then I see that first, the scariest thing you do when you black out is not that I only speaking for myself. I never intend on blacking out. I just have too much of a good time until
Right.
I'm out.
Right.
But and then I wake up. I see my Chrome. I see a helicopter company on my
What, like Sikorsky or something?
I don't know. And on my Google Chrome, and then I go through my phone calls, and then I see the same. You know how when you Google a company, you can see their number. The same number was on my call history.
Oh no!
On my call history,
You're brokering a helicopter sale.
So apparently, what had happened the night before, when I got flagged. And this makes me look bad, but I got flagged, and I essentially told the bartender to fuck off, and then this other girl apparently told me to. She said, "Eat bread," right? Yeah. This other girl, she was very generous about it, or so I was told. And then apparently what I did was I turned around to my guys, to my friends, and I told them what I thought I was being private conversation. Apparently what I was saying is did you hear this bitch? She just told me to fucking eat bread. It's like, you broke bitch.
Oh my god.
I would fucking eat bread. I was so apparently I had tried to call a helicopter to a company to pick me up from Newark.
You know what's funny? You were using that term, being fuck you rich, right?
Yeah.
My definition of fuck you rich is if I'm ever in a situation where I need to tell someone to fuck off, I can call someone to come pick me up in a helicopter.
Yeah.
Just grab onto the ladder and just fly.
Yeah. Have you ever seen The Dictator?
Yes.
He just goes like this, and then they disappear. You don't like when he's like this.
But yeah, that was my definition of fuck you, Rich. Right?
Yeah.
Like, fuck you while
Yeah.
hanging on a rope ladder off a
Yeah,
helicopter
yeah.
flying away.
Yeah. So that reminds me of about making people disappear.
Oh, interesting
Should we be
segue.
concerned?
I
We're on
learned,
your good side, right?
No, you're good, man. Come on. I wouldn't look. I hate. I wouldn't kill a bug. What's it called? But what I learned recently is that if you have, your silverware, your small fork, big fork, knife, and spoon. And the only reason I know that is because I worked in fine dining. Apparently, it's a thing that if your knife is facing inwards, if you have it facing the opposite way to the person next to you, it means that I think it's like you don't want to deal with them or
Make
you want
this
them to
problem
disappear.
go away.
Yeah, and that's one way to signal. Now another thing I learned is in the mob too, in the Italian mob, a thing is when they're all gathered and having dinner, and they're drinking wine like a motherfucker. And I learned this from Michael Francese, whatever his name. Look him up real quick. Michael. I'll see if I can figure out the spelling. Oh, you guys use Firefox. Damn, I haven't heard that in forever.
Well, we use this for this version of Firefox.
I
Is
love
built an
Firefox.
ad blocker.
Yeah.
So when we look up shit on YouTube, no ads.
Reminds me of my LimeWire days.
Don't know how long.
Yeah, hell yeah, bro.
So FRAN.
FRAN.
Yeah, right there. And then just look him up real quick, and then see what his
Criminal boss.
So look up how
crime
much.
boss.
Look up how much did Michael Francis or Francese brought in, something like that.
His net worth? Or?
No. Like how much was he making? Just do space, and then do how much was he making. I learned this from him.
You can just still do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine. Just keep going.
Oh my God.
No, it's fine. It was perfect.
8 million per
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. 8 million per week. So what I learned from him.
Week.
Yeah, 8 million. So what I learned from him is that apparently what they would do is when they would have these meetings and they brought in someone from the outside, whatever the case is, if they were like if they were like wanting to disappear or like, oh no, it was his way of signaling of we cannot talk about certain things because this person's here.
Yeah.
And how they would signal that is when you would go around the table, you would pour the bottle like this.
Yeah.
Right, you'll pour the bottle like this.
Oh.
And so, mind you, okay, so this is empty.
Yeah.
So you go like this, but when he would go to you to signal that to you, he would go like this.
Yeah.
Oh shit, my bad.
Yeah, you're fine.
No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. No,
Yeah,
no,
gotcha.
no, leave it. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But yeah, but it's like
Yeah, it's like
this
like
way,
this
but
instead.
like the guy who's not good.
It's like
is
it's
that
like this way. Yeah, have you heard of that before?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah,
I've heard of
yeah,
similar
yeah.
things, not that specific scenario, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm like, oh
Yeah,
shit,
that's super crazy.
you know. It's
Yeah.
kind of when you're giving your boy the look. It's like,
Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah, and
hard to segue out of that. Huh?
crazy, crazy segue. But yeah, no, that is like super cool. And there's so many things like with like Woody Bulger, which is like
Yeah.
another one where
Yeah.
like there's and I'm terrible with examples, but like I've heard so many crazy fun facts like with
Yeah.
them, with like how like deeply rooted like that mob
Uh-huh.
stuff they had going on,
Uh-huh.
and it's just like all of the little signals and like,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
things
yeah.
they had like
Yeah.
throughout the streets that were
Yeah.
just like it looks like a normal street, and
Yeah.
like, people would look at it and be like, this
Yeah.
is not good.
Yeah.
This is not good.
We should
He
leave.
he
Yeah.
actually. So Michael here, he reposted me on a story once on Instagram. What happened was I was in Vegas 3-4 years ago. I forget when it was, and I took my corporate picture. Right, I took my corporate picture. Actually, I wonder if I show up. Look me up, Emilio Pastor, and then go on images. It might be there. It might be somewhere in there. Yeah, PASTOR. Like the church. So go on. Yeah, that's my corporate picture right there. That third one. Yeah. So that was my corporate picture, right?
Yeah.
And what's it called? By the way, I don't use LinkedIn. It's like I haven't used LinkedIn probably since 4 years, so it's so outdated there.
Yeah.
But what's it called? I posted that picture on my story with a black background, and I said, "Let me let me give you an offer you can't refuse or something like that.
Yeah.
Because he wrote a book like that, so I tagged him in, and then he ended up reposting it.
That's funny.
Yeah,
But I
no
put the
way.
Godfather music in the background.
Ah,
Yeah,
that sold it. That sold it. He's looking at a young me.
an
I'm
offer you
looking
can't
at a
refuse.
young me right here.
Yeah. I like that though. The fact that I showed that I on a completely different laptop, whatever the case, I still show up. That's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So at what point do I get to pull the Google me, bitch? Oh, there goes Jack before he had long hair and facial hair. Look at him. Oh,
yeah.
but
Yeah. So, and then also, we before we took the pee break, we were talking about just like obviously like your upbringing and all that other stuff. But I mean, just as far as where you are today, you know, and like obviously, you know, you are running this the EPEX, and you know that's where you find out all of the like financial mysteries that everyone needs, you know, and just kind of breaking down and figuring stuff out. But like, so like not giving away any secrets, but like, how are you here? Like, you know what I'm saying?
well, you see, I got in my car.
Yeah, no.
I'm kidding.
Yeah. So, but I mean, like, just like what brings somebody to being worth
you know what,
$100,000
yeah.
and still in college and being able to like, you know, maintain a podcast? Because like, you know, just for instance, you know, like Adrian and I are, you know, we're just blue collar guys, been blue collar guys our whole lives, and just working on cars, now doing HVAC, and now doing a podcast, and finding a balance between us and our normal lives, and this podcast is difficult. And then just to like see somebody else who's like branched out, kind of doing the same thing and in college, and just like, you know, it's crazy. So
Yeah,
like,
because you had mentioned you made the hard choices. Like, what were some of those initial, like, you took over the finances for your family, and you obviously found success in there. You helped your family out. You helped your dad out. What were you doing? What were those hard choices that got you where you are, you know? Like, if I wanted to start from square one and kind of follow your footsteps
Yeah.
to find financial success.
So when I had to, it started, I think, with my dad. When I had to either pick, you know, leaving or staying, I had a friend who I didn't know at the time was very well off. He was my number one in fine dining. He was number one and I was number two. And what's it called? I knew he had a big house all to himself and all that stuff like that. And I told him, I was like, you know, back to the proximity principle. You know, I thought if, you know, I was more around him, then I'd be more like him. And I told him, I was like, dude, you know, do you mind if I move in with you, type of thing.
Yeah.
And then he straight up told me, I was like, dude, you can't afford to live with me. And he saw something that I didn't, right? So me being the arrogant SOB I was back then, what's it called? I'm like, you know, what do you mean by that? Oh my God, I just realized I messed up your guys' sticker. Hold
That's
on.
just the top layer. It's fine.
Okay. All right, you sure? Yeah, I don't want to.
Fixed.
Cool. All right, sorry. Yeah, I feel so bad.
Nah, you're straight.
But yeah. What's it called? Yeah. So he was like, yeah, no, dude, you can't afford it. And then what he did was once we finished a shift in the fine dining room, he sat me down in the break room, and we went over my finances. What we did was he got down where we take orders, our notepad or whatever it is. You know, he wrote down my income and my expenses. And then ultimately what we found out was that I was living a life I couldn't afford, right? I was spending way too much over the top from what I was earning, right? And I was in the negative. So yeah, I think, what's it called? So it started there.
With just basic budgeting.
Yeah, basic budgeting. And then realizing that once I got out of that, the negative, the thousands of dollars I was in debt, you know, anytime my father wouldn't be able to make bills, all that stuff like that, or pay bills, I would have to cover it. So I felt like it was hindering my growth, right? Which is why I was going to him, which is why I wanted to move in with my friend. And then, what's it called? I chose the harder route. I chose, you know, helping my dad out instead of, you know, just helping myself out. and it just became it became a muscle. It became a habit. Oh, like choosing a harder route. Like, dude, I started like just a very brief to the point example is in 2022. Yeah, 2022. I started running, no reason. And it's like I want to do a 5K. I want to do a 10K. I want to do. That's when I. What's it called? Yeah, I think that's when I was reaching. Yeah. So in 22, and I did a 5K, the 10K, and then I did my half. And then in November, I met a friend, and there was no goal in mind. It was just doing it. And I met a friend who's now my barber. His name is Christian Reyes Hernandez. He's going to be at the fight tonight. And he was a seasoned runner. And but he's never done a marathon. This is where the psychotic part of me kind of comes in. So why don't we just do a full, right?
Right.
Why don't we do a
Why
full?
don't we just jump right into it?
In late November 2022, I said that to him. By April of 2023, we were crossing our first marathon finish line ever. Oh, that's a great picture, by the way, on the bottom, on the third row, third column, sorry. Yeah, on the first one. So left.
There's rights. There's
There you go.
There.
That picture. So that's Reyes right there. That's Reyes
Oh, okay.
Hernandez. These are all EPEX members, by the way.
Awesome.
What's it called? We had rented the what's it called? The coin. Their speakeasy portion of it. I forget what it's called. Simmer Down.
Are so cool.
Simmer Down. Yeah, and then we got a limo to pick us up and everything, and we ended up at a rooftop bar in Philly. But sorry, I went out on a tangent there. But I saw the picture. I was like, that's a great picture.
Yeah.
And yeah, it wasn't that. So first it was choosing the harder option because I knew it had the best benefit. After that, it was choosing the harder option just to essentially give me the confidence. Just build more confidence. There's a great Alex Hormozi quote that I really, really, really like. Is confidence is not standing in front of a mirror yelling affirmations at yourself or repeating affirmations to yourself. Confidence is building an undeniable stack of proof that proves you are who you say you are.
Yeah.
So the 5K, the 10K, and let me break that down how the confidence builds up. At a 5K, which is what, a 3.1 miles, 3.1 miles. At a 10K is 6.2, right? I did 3 miles. What's another 3? I'll do 2. Boom, and then you reach a 10 mile. There's 10-mile runs, right? And it's like, oh, what's another 3 or 4 miles? So I'll do that, and then a half marathon is only 3 more miles after that. I could say I do a marathon. Boom, pop.
Yeah.
Then you do that, and then once you get to the half marathon, it's like, oh, that's all I got left, so I might as well do it. So the confidence level goes up over time. And in that specific example, another statistic that drove me was that look up what population of the country of the U.S. has run a marathon or a half marathon. Either one is fine.
You know what? I've done that too. It's bigger than you thought. It's bigger than I thought.
Okay.
It's way more than I thought. I mean, not that it's because it's so impressive. So like I'm.
So what population of the U.S. has run a half marathon or a full?
Yeah, because honestly, I thought it was like gonna be. I mean, it's still low. It's still low. But like, because like what I looked up was the Boston. Like,
Yeah, my boss actually ran the Boston Marathon.
Yeah, so did my
Marathon?
Really?
boss.
Really?
Yeah, so,
That's awesome.
dude. So my
So go to
my
all-
boss,
yeah.
I want to have on
So, right
our
there.
podcast so bad. Like he may be one of the like
Less than
the
1%.
coolest like slept on guys in the world.
Really?
But
What are you
I,
talking about?
Todd Finnegan.
Yeah, Todd.
Yeah.
Finnegan.
Todd Finnegan. I mean, he's the greatest.
Isn't that an Irish last name?
yes.
Finnegan. Yes.
Oh, he's 100% Irish.
I met this
Drinks like a
bartender.
fish.
His last name is Finnegan, I think. Or his
Yeah.
Instagram is Finn. He makes the greatest cocktails ever.
Mm,
Very interesting guy.
Yeah.
Very interesting guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So I saw that statistic, less than 1% of the population. I'm like,
Okay.
oh, I want to be part of this club.
part of this.
I want to be a part of
Oh,
this club.
but see, when you put it in that perspective, because I just saw a number, but I never. I
Yeah.
mean, like the number was.
Well,
big.
you gotta think about
it's
it,
like
like-
it's like 35,000.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
there's
in the U.S.
355
Yeah,
million
exactly.
people in the U.S.
Exactly.
So damn, when you think
Yeah.
about that, you're
Yeah.
like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, and like, not that I was like completely deterred, but like that was before I hurt my back. Like
Mm-hmm.
that was my mission. Is that like before I turned 35,
Mm-hmm.
which is I think the first tier for the Boston Marathon. So like that's when you get into the old people, is what I thought.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to run the Boston Marathon before I turn into the old people, you know? So I was like, all right, like right now I'm 29 and I was like, I got to run my first marathon by the time I'm 30.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like that's when, because I love running, and I'll do like
I hate
before
running.
I hurt. Sure, yeah.
I hate running,
Yeah,
but I run
yeah.
marathons.
I mean, dude, like, I'm not like rock hard running. You know, I don't
wow.
love running.
Yeah, I
you
don't
know,
like podcasting. Here I am.
There's that. Yeah.
Yeah, but as far as exercise goes, like, and like people who do run, the people who like hate it, like I love it, and it's the thing that like since I've hurt my back has been I miss that
yeah.
the most.
Yeah.
You know, it's that thud and compression that I
Yeah.
can't do with my back
Yeah.
right now. So like
You need an
I'm
elliptical
working
is what
I'm
you
working
need.
towards that. But sure, but
Well,
but-
just sign up for the what
Well, at
how
first-
do
so I
how-
can
yeah.
if
what's the
where I-
furthest you think you could run,
so
like
the
without
first-
messing yourself
well,
up?
before, oh, dude, like I tried to run on that treadmill
Uh-huh.
and I took 10 steps.
So how do we fix your back? What's going on?
So I mean, I think what I have is what's crazy. Here's what's crazy is that like the spine is the most critical piece of equipment that you have on your body, and like when you have a compressed disc, bulging disc, like a broken disc, like. Or maybe not a broken disc, but like a compressed or bulging or like a broken disc or whatever. Like there's like you could get surgery, but like
Dude,
that's gonna be very like terrible on your back, and like the rehab from that is gonna be very difficult. The only thing you can do is just like stretching. And just like mitigating stress and just letting it heal on its own. I mean, I would argue that like stem cells would be sick. That would be probably
Yeah,
the
Joe
best
Rogan talks
route.
about
I
them
mean,
all the
let's
time.
go.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about I'll be in Tijuana soon. Let's go.
There you go. There you go.
So, but yeah. So like what I was doing was all these stretches that I was doing in PT. I'm getting really good, and like everything's fine. You know, work happens. I bend a weird way.
Those
and then,
nitrogen
like,
tanks we were
and
dealing
then I'm
with the
back.
other day.
Yeah, dude, it's everything.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and it all compounds.
Cutting your
And then
grass,
bo-
I think you said, was
cutting my grass was the same thing. I mean, like holding a weed whacker, you know, and I have a riding lawnmower, a zero turn, but like there's portions of my grass that has to be pushed. You know, just it's very topographical here. So, but yeah, so it's little things. But like, so for me though, but when I was running, you know, like 10 miles was like my like if I was dialed in 10 miles, I could do that.
Yeah.
Like if you were like, yo, let's go run 10
Yeah.
miles. I was
Yeah.
like, cool, let's go do it.
Yeah.
You know, I could run Hibernia, which is like our little park nearby, like 4 times.
Yeah.
And I think that I've calculated that
Yeah.
out to being,
Yeah.
I think
around 10
I think the
miles.
loop that I do is like 3 miles. So I'm like, I can do that 4 times.
Yeah.
And I've done that 4 times. So
Okay.
I'm like, 10 miles, let's go.
Well, when you recover,
Yeah.
just let me know.
Yeah.
I'll have you running a marathon within a
Yeah.
year.
Hell yeah, dude. And I felt
Not
like
because
I felt like I was
I'll be
close.
training you or anything like that. It's just because I'm that fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And I won't let you give up.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
so
and I haven't given up either. I mean, obviously, you know, it's difficult to like live it, you know, and to be in it and like to not work out. And like I've always, like for a lot of years, I've worked out. I've been like that fat kid in high school, and like now I've been working out and doing really really good. And
Yeah.
then you get this. Like not just an injury, but there's an injury that like everyone says that like if you have it, it's like a year, you know, and like there's all the thoughts come into your
Yeah.
head. We're like, are you doing the right thing? Have you been staying on top of this? Or
Yeah.
like, should you have been doing this instead of that? And
Yeah.
it's like, because like, should I be doing more? And then
Yeah.
I do more, and then I get like it's worse.
You know what that
And
reminds me
then-
of?
What?
Health, wealth, love, happiness.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep your systems in check.
Fuck, man. Yeah.
It's
so,
because a company has its finance department, its marketing department, its HR,
Yeah.
it's all that stuff. It's like you're your own company, and your
Yeah.
departments are health, wealth, love, happiness.
Yeah.
And are these things in check? You know, are these things
Yeah.
in check? If they're not, or
Yeah.
can we address
And my
them?
health is not, and like only because like I think for me like working out does a lot. Obviously, I'm a person who just gains weight, so like unlike Adrian, and I'm like he eats DoorDash, so but I eat a healthy
You eat the
diet.
company?
Yeah, I'm just cardboard, paper, bills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like for me, like I know that I need to work out. And I need to have that constant
Yeah.
every single day.
Yeah.
I mean, I take a few days off, but like I need
Yeah.
that, and I think
Yeah.
it's more mental
Yeah.
that's been breaking.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
exercise has always been like an emotional and like mental just regulator.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
everything.
I'm
to it.
sure
Well,
if
yeah,
I
you know what they say:
actually
a
put
strong
the
body's a
effort
strong
in.
mind.
Yeah.
If I actually
Yeah,
put the effort in,
yeah.
I might even be more happy than I.
Yeah,
am,
no, I think
but-
everybody would be,
Mm-hmm.
and I miss it so much. And so
Yeah.
what I do when I come down here
Yeah.
is that I can do all these stretches, and
Yeah.
the things that I can do
Yeah.
is that like I can do light bench presses because that's not
Yeah.
technically putting compression on me, and I can do pull-ups.
There you go.
But like pull-ups are like full body, so
Mm-hmm.
like there gets to like a certain amount of pull-ups that I can do before I've used so much of my upper
Right.
or my core,
Right.
where like it starts to hurt my back,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that kind of thing. But like, yeah,
That-
I can do something, but it's not
Yeah.
running. It's not like exerting. It's not
Yeah.
sweat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
It's not the same that you were doing before.
Yeah.
That
Probably
remind
what
that
hurts.
reminds me of something.
Yeah.
Can I call a pee break?
Yeah, let's call a pee break.
And
then-
then EPEX, and you got a lot going on.
Yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
I'm in the real estate. I'm in real estate. Well, finance is somewhat a bit. Real estate is somewhat finance. I'm in finance. I'm in media, and I'm in self development. It's what I summarize it down to, because finance and real estate, they go hand in hand. You know, EPEX is a personal development, and podcast is media.
Okay,
So independent media.
Yeah.
So there's that. That's what I'm in.
and I would guess real estate's probably the bread and butter. Is that?
Oh, actually, no.
Really?
No,
No?
no.
Okay.
The bread. Well, I would say, you know, it's so bread and butter. You know, what do you mean by bread and butter? I'll start there.
So
The breadwinner?
The bread and butter
Uh-huh.
is the thing that brings in the most money.
Yeah.
The things that keeps the lights on.
Yeah.
You know, the thing that you couldn't like maintain your lifestyle living
I
doing
would
what
s-
you're doing without it.
I
You know.
think EPEX has generated more revenue than my real estate aspect
Yeah,
of the thing has.
that's amazing.
But real estate is great because you can make money on rentals and the property increasing in value, and stuff like that. Because what I typically do is or what I like to do is I appraise the value. I mean, I increase the value of the property, whether it's through the time that I own it, and then what I do is I refinance it. I pull out the equity, and then I buy the next one.
Right.
So that's what I typically do.
Yeah.
I got in a good market during 2020, so my first property was essentially free, and it was just a timing thing. And I didn't time it. It was just
Right
it was
place,
just
right time.
Right place, right time. You know, but one of the quotes I do like: it's not about timing the market; it's about time in the market.
Yeah, you spend
So-
enough time in there, you'll find an opportunity.
Yeah. So that's real estate. It could be lucrative where like you play the long game. For me, it's lucrative in the sense that with $20,000 you could access, well, at least back then.
Yeah.
With $20,000 you could access like a $200,000
As
asset.
someone looking for
You
a
know,
house,
or
I'm
250.
feeling the burn of
Yeah.
It's
that.
a tough market. It's a
Yeah.
tough market.
Yeah, I
Like,
wasn't there financially when the interest rates were down.
Yeah.
And now that I'm finally like, okay, I'm putting money away. Now inflation's
Yeah.
running away
Yeah.
and interest rates are through the roof. And I'm like, okay, well,
Yeah.
I'm back,
Interest
back
rates
to
are-
square one, basically.
interest rates
Yeah.
are flowing around 7% right now in Delaware. But it's like just being in the rental aspect of things. Like I remember I was charging $1,200 a month to one of my properties, and now my property manager thinks that we could charge up to $1,600 for the same property. And mind you, that's with me doing like one less thing that I was doing before. But it's just crazy how much how expensive things have become.
It's 1,800 minimum
Yeah,
up here.
yeah. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
What's it called? But it's just like I don't know. It's just living is getting more and more expensive.
Yeah.
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 And property values are going so high. Like, you know, my goal for a while was I'm going to save up $20K for a down payment so I can buy a house. And by the time I get to $20K, it's going to be like, okay, well, now I need 40. So.
Yeah. But hey, at least you're only $20K away from the zero that you were.
Hey, that's exactly where I was several years ago.
Have
and like so like I don't know what you recommend as far as like buying a house. I mean, like for me, like
I'm not no expert, by the way.
right, okay,
I'm not no expert.
Yeah, I know, I get it. I mean, you have a property, you know, manager, so it seems like you know you get a lot of like professional advice and things like that.
I think
like
what
you're
I'm
going in the
really
right
good at,
direction.
if I'm being honest with you, is putting the right people in the right places.
Yeah, you have like that very like business owner kind of.
You've got a good circle to
like a
pull
leader
from.
mentality.
Is your team? Who's your team? How can you best shine the people and how can you best make them shine in the positions that they're in, or that you can put them in? That's where I focus on.
Yeah,
like for me, having a property manager was the best thing I could do off the bat. Was because, you know, people think, oh my God, you know, you're giving 8% or 9% of the rent every month. Yeah, but my first year ever having a property manager, I got a text during Christmas, right? Christmas Eve, I think. I'm Hispanic, so Christmas Eve is our Christmas.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, you know, we celebrate Christmas Eve, and then we unwrap gifts at midnight. So I remember waking up Christmas Eve, and I was taking a shower. All of a sudden, I get a text message from a property manager saying, "Hey, the pipes at one of your properties, exploded, or whatever the case is." I'm like, what the hell do I do? Right? I told you I'm not a handyman. I don't know shit about shit. And she was like, "Oh, but you're fine. We already took care of it. Just want to let you know." I was like, "Oh shit!" I was like,
"That's what 8%.
That's
looks
worth.
like.
That to me is worth 8%.
That's what 8% looks like,
8%. Yeah, that's 100% worth 8% to me.
Now, I think the, coming from the perspective of someone who's like not a property owner and who's basically starting from the, the bottom there, it's how do I get to the point where I can afford to give away 8%? Like, where do I even get my foot in the door?
Well, so I have this system, right? I have this property. I forget what the hell I called it because I haven't used it in a long time. But property evaluation calculator, or I guess that's what you could call it. And anytime I buy a property, it has to go through 3 phases. Passes. I mean, 3 tests. Sorry, 3 tests is 1. It is to be able to cover the expenses of the place if I rent it out, right? Boom, there's that. And if it passes that, that's good.
The mortgage on the
right, the mortgage,
property,
the insurance, all that stuff.
Taxes.
Right. What's it called? And then there's I forget what else. So at first it's like the living one, and then there's the annual things like the sewer or whatever it is, taxes and all that stuff. And then the last one is if I get an investor involved. Is it covering the investor's share? Right, and it's not unless it passes at least 2 of those 3 tests that I'm gonna not even buy it, but I'm gonna show up and check it out. Right. So when I show up and check it out, that's when you see, okay, is there something in there that's not in the listing? That's what I'm looking for. No, is there something that's not accurate, whatever the case is, or something that I might have not considered? And then whether or not it passes, there's the test. There's the 3 tests that I'm putting in it beforehand, and then there's the test of me showing up and seeing it. I'm not a real estate expert, but I know a lot of real estate experts, so I take them with me, my team, and we go in there, and then they're like, "Hey, Emilio, like, oh, this looks off. This is why this is happening." And it's like, "Oh, well, does it pass that test?" No. All right, we're not buying.
So from someone who I would self-describe myself as like, when it comes to high finances, like financially illiterate, basically. It's about the team you build and about the people you surround yourself with. Absolutely.
So the old cliche of, if you're not the smartest No. If you're the smartest person in the room, then get the hell out of that room. I'm in no room. I never feel like I'm in a room that I'm the smartest person. I never feel that way. Like, you guys are HVAC experts in comparison to me, right? So I'm not the smartest person in this room. So, and it's just stuff like that, right? It's just like, it takes some humility to that, right? Because you like to feel praised and high and important and all that shit like that. But at the same time, that's an ego thing. Yeah. It's an ego thing. You get the most benefit out of having the best people that do the best things in their respective field. So it's just that. Have a really good team. Like, I don't know, when you get into when you're looking at listings and all that stuff like that, have someone that you know is good in the real estate business. I'm a little iffy on real estate agents. I'm not the biggest fan. Mine, I really.
You found someone you trust.
Yeah, and only because it was word of mouth. Only because it was word of mouth, and the only reason they're still doing it is because they just enjoy doing it. So they don't necessarily have an agenda behind it. They just do it just because it's what they do. They enjoyed it. They're older. They've been in the business over 30 years. They're not going to try to hide every little flaw, whatever the case is, just to close a deal.
They're not chasing a commission or
exactly.
something.
Exactly.
Right.
And, I wouldn't know that, if I didn't have, like, the right person by my side, shit like that. So it's like, just find people like that.
Yeah.
And honestly... Yeah. Then the question that follows that is, how do I find people like that? That's tough. I mean, well, in the social media world, just reach out. And if you see someone that you like and that you think you could admire, is reach out to them and see if you can build that relationship. If not, start hanging around in the areas that they're more likely to be around. And that's just it. And you probably think to yourself, oh, why the fuck would they want to hang out with me? It's give them your time. Give them your time. You'd be surprised. Right. A lot of people that are successful, they're more than happy to just give you information, just like and mentor you or whatever the case is. Because they build fulfillment out of that. Yeah. They get fulfillment
if you've got everything that money
like
can
that.
buy, then,
Yeah, but just small scale. We're like that. We got information that we want to give.
Like
we're like that.
It seems so true, like kind of one of those universal truths of like humanity. It's like you have knowledge, you want to pass it on.
Yeah.
Learn and return.
Yeah.
Learn and return.
Yeah, I mean, like, definitely. And, like, there's so many times where Adrian just needs to, like, just blurt out, like, fun information that he has about a rocket or, like, about whatever.
I don't know. I'm feeling like the smartest person in the room. I think I got
to leave. No, but, that's really it, man. I'm not no genius. I'm not, anything like I'll be. I have no problem in saying that because it's like,
you just know how to put it all together.
Yeah, I like to. It reminds me of a. It was one Travis Scott song. I forget what it was, but he essentially says that he's the glue, right?
Glue. Okay.
Yeah, he just puts the right people in the best places for the best outcomes.
Yeah.
So that's really it. But no, we were talking earlier about something with that I wanted to bring up after the restroom, and I forget what the hell it was. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what the hell it was.
See, this is the downside to not having it be nearly as structured.
Well,
shit just goes everywhere.
No, but it's cool too because things.
But this is fun too.
No shame to the EP podcast.
The EP podcast. If you're looking for facts quick and you want to know about somebody and you want a structured, detailed thing, but if you're here for the long haul, you come here and you listen to us ramble.
Yeah.
Come watch us get drunk.
This is so fun, guys. This is so fun. This is the most. I've been in a couple podcasts now, on a few podcasts now, and this has been the. Oh, jeez. I don't realize how to... I might come off a little disrespectful here, but this has been the most fun one I've been on so far.
That's good, man.
And I loved all of them.
Yeah.
They've all been more... The first one I was on was a little bit more sex-oriented.
That was crazy, dude.
The second one, was a little bit more business-focused.
Yeah.
And this one has just been so chill.
Yeah.
I love this one because I literally feel like if the mics weren't... here right now or all this, we still be having the same conversation.
We would have the same. That's the idea, man. That's the idea. And
so that's a testament to you guys.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it.
I think that if Thomas were to come on, he would have a great time here.
Yeah,
we
and I
try
hope
to
he
keep
does.
it just.
I hope he does.
Casual. and
Yeah.
wherever the conversation goes. Like whatever
Yeah.
you want to talk about, we're game.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And then I think we also, Adrian and I both pride ourselves on being good listeners and like being able to
Yeah.
just kind of keep
No,
the
you guys are amazing
conversation
listeners.
going. And
That's a
and
flex.
just-
Being
yeah.
a good listener is a
Yeah.
flex.
Yeah, for sure.
We have
We-
2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like
know?
you said, like like if we're the smartest person in the room,
Yeah.
we got to get the fuck out. So like we're here to listen to smart people, or really, but like but just really anyone.
Yeah.
Mind
Mind you, being the smartest person in the room is not a bad thing.
No, I know,
Right,
but it's a
right.
good metaphor.
Right,
I know
'cause
what you were
you
saying.
get to
I
be a
didn't. I didn't
mentor.
want to pull that out.
No,
I
yeah,
didn't
for
want to
sure.
pull that into bad
Everything in
context.
moderation.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
Churchill says. Yeah.
Yeah,
Winston
yeah,
Churchill.
yeah.
When people ask me, is like, I forget what it was. It was like when people ask me, I heard, I think they because when I used to work at the country club, sometimes I'd have nights out, and now I'd show up a little bit. If I had a lunch shift the next day, whatever the case was, and I was a server, I'd be a little hungover. And I would tell the members, I went out because I had a good relationship with the members.
Yeah.
It's actually how I got the finance job. Finance job I'm working in
Relationships
today.
are everything.
Absolutely,
Right.
absolutely. It's not just what you know; it's who you know. But what's it called? I would tell them I'd be hungover or whatever the case a little bit, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, did you have a good time?" It's like, well, all is good in moderation.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, what do you mean?" I was like, "I had 1 drink at a time."
Yes, that is the definition of moderation. I like that. I like that.
Yeah, but that's my
we're gonna
thing, man.
throw that in on Wikipedia. Yeah, AI is gonna pick that up for moderation.
But no, guys, this has been a blast. Thank you so much.
It
This
has
been great.
been, man.
This
Yeah,
has been
and
great.
thank you so much for doing this, bro.
Yeah.
It's been an absolute pleasure. It was an absolute pleasure doing
Yeah,
yours.
yeah.
We can't wait to see that podcast.
I look
Keep
forward to
a-
hang out with
keep
you
a
guys
lookout
again.
for that.
Yeah, off camera, on camera, whatever. Yeah. So, if I may.
Yeah, please plug.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, guys, I was gonna say what I typically say at the end of a podcast. If you haven't already, hey, but if you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any more episodes from the Leave It Running podcast. But while you're at it, also, follow the EP podcast on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. We interview entrepreneurs, business owners, and public figures, and we bridge the gaps in understanding through honest and open conversation. So there's that. And I'm hosting a great event in August 23rd to the 25th in Atlantic City at the Claridge Hotel with a lot of professionals where we exchange ideas, opinions, and help each other out become the best version of ourselves at the Summer Summit 2024. So please join us if you haven't already. So, yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro,
Pleasure
thank
having
you
you,
so
man.
much.
Of course.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's
Emilio,
been awesome.
This has been
One last cheers.
The best.
I
Yeah,
drank
cheers,
everything.
brother.
That's all right.
No, that's all good. Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate it.